From the beautiful foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains in Clemson, South Carolina, it's the finale of this three-game set between the number 4 Clemson Tigers and the Stanford Cardinal as Clemson goes for the sweep this afternoon. You should be ready for ACC baseball this afternoon. And we have a look at the standings right now. As you see, the top 10 in the ACC. Clemson continues to lead the table. Stanford at 5-12 has lost 11 ACC games in a row. And we welcome you inside our broadcast booth here at Doug Kingsmore Stadium. With Debbie Sanchez, I'm Mike Farron. This Clemson team continues to impress. They have not lost a weekend all season long, and it's 6 straight series wins for them in the ACC.
Well, here's the thing, Mike. They're showing why they're at the top of those standings because of the way that they're able to play. Starting pitching, good. Bullpen, probably one of the best in the nation right now, the way that they're able to throw the baseball. Then I start to look at their lineup, 1 through 9, the way that they battle, the way that they make pitchers work. This is a very, very potent team.
Yeah, as you can see, number 2 in the RPI now behind Arkansas and riding an 8-game winning streak. One of the few questions, because you pick apart good teams, that we had was about the power for Clemson coming into this series. But 13 extra base hits for them through the 2 games, and they've scored 22 runs.
Yeah, one of the things with Bakich is telling us, like, oh, the wind has been blowing in, but we've seen the power all of a sudden just kind of surge. And with Canarella, he's the guy that you're looking at. 1 home run so far, 11 last year. He's been providing some doubles power. You have Priest, he's been hitting some homers. So they're going in the right direction when it comes to the power.
I think the other thing you could pick apart for Clemson over the last couple of weeks was the Sunday starter role, but B.J. Bailey has settled into this. It's his 3rd start, and his first 2 he worked into the 7th and 6th inning respectively.
Yeah, for B.J. Bailey, he's been really, really good. It's a nice little 4-pitch mix with a fastball, curveball, slider, changeup, not overpowering, about 86 to 90 miles an hour. And just like he has to go deep because they had to use a lot of that bullpen yesterday.
Stanford's lineup had a lot of fight in them, and you could see yesterday 9 runs with 2 out. Trevor Haskins in the leadoff spot again. Had a home run and was a triple shy of the cycle. And there are some changes to the lineup today, at least in terms of order. We'll talk about that coming up in just a little bit. B.J. Bailey finally has the sign that he wants, the lefty into the line, and the first pitch of the ball game is hammered up the alley in left center field, and that one will go all the way to the wall, and the ambush hitter in the leadoff spot, Trevor Haskins, does it again. His 3rd extra base hit in 2 games and a leadoff double.
Well, Mike, just like in yesterday's ball game, leads off the game with a double. Trevor Haskins, boy, he has been swinging a hot bat. Just like you said, he is ready to swing right away. Gets a pitch by Bailey. It's a fastball and just hammers it.
6 for 10 in the series now for Haskins, and here's the senior shortstop, Timo Becerra. Offense wasn't the issue for Stanford yesterday, but again, they moved some guys around in the lineup. Becerra still at his customary 2-hole, the senior. He has had a rougher series offensively, 0 for 7, and B.J. Bailey is having issues with his pitch communication device. At least it was after the first pitch this time.
I was going to say, it wasn't in the beginning of the ball game. He waited another pitch for all of a sudden something to happen.
Need to either make sure that those are charged or get bigger on buttons.
Just test them before the game, before going out there. Let's make sure that this thing is working.
All right, Becerra stands in. Stanford trying to claim an early lead. The first pitch outside, 1-0. Timo Becerra's been a key member of this Stanford lineup. He moved into the shortstop role as a starter as a freshman right when the team got to Omaha. That went inside. Count 2-0. That was at 22. He has been a very steady defensive performer, especially. The 2-0. He takes a strike. It's 2-1.
Like the thing with Bailey is because that fastball velocity is not in that 93, 94 range, he really does have to hit those corners.
Becerra, soft liner over the head of a leaving Purify and up the alley in right center. Stanford's going to get the lead as Becerra hustles to second and in with a head-first slide, back-to-back doubles, and the Cardinals are up 1-0.
That's the other thing that I was going to say. Can't risk falling behind, especially this Stanford team. We saw what they can do in yesterday's ballgame. They can put runs on the board. This is a changeup that's left up. And boy, Becerra does a really nice job of hitting this opposite field. The exit velo on that one, 101 miles an hour.
And here's Jimmy Nadai, who is 1 for 6 in the series. Moved into the 3-hole today. The biggest change for Stanford is that freshman Rintaro Sasaki's out of the cleanup spot, and Jimmy Nadai has just gone way out of here. Out of Doug Kingsmore Stadium. Wow, it's 3-0 Stanford. What a shot. 434 feet for the Australian-born second baseman. That was a blast.
Oh my goodness. Jimmy Nadai gets a fastball center cut and obliterates this fastball. Hits it over everything. It's gone. 110 miles an hour off the bat.
And Brady Reynolds lines one to center. Canarella makes a diving catch for the first out. Well, this series hasn't lacked for action, Gabby. I mean, that Nadai home run was a monstrous clip, and then Canarella with a great diving catch.
After a home run, how about Canarella coming in to make the play? Now, remember, he had labrum issues where he had to have surgery. So these are one of the ones where you're diving down. You kind of hold your breath a little bit if you're the Clemson Tigers.
Tatum Marsh, the incredibly impressive freshman, takes a ball high, 1-0. Marsh, who was hitting at the bottom of the lineup for most of this season, has moved into the 5-hole in the last week, and the count 2-0. 3 for 6 in the series. He knocked in the only run for Stanford on Friday night with an opposite field homer. He scored 3 times. He rips it foul, and the count 2-1.
I mean, look, that wind's blowing in, and he hit it.
Time is called. Ball got loose down the left field line, and that's what happened before the pitch. Yes, the ball, I don't like.
The wind's blowing in. We saw BP today. Ball wasn't really traveling. That ball went over everything to left center.
Everything. Marsh to right. Jack Crichton is there, 2 outs. Let's take another look at the Nadai homer. This is remarkable.
Blowing in. Flags blowing in. I'm thinking when this ball gets hit, yeah, it's a home run. It's going to probably be 2 or 3 rows deep. No, he hits it over everything.
You could see it clear. I mean, I didn't believe it when I saw it. Wow. 434
that's
feet.
power.
2 outs and nobody on. 3-0 Stanford. Rintaro Sasaki hits. The highly touted freshman is down in the 6-hole today. Moved on to the cleanup spot.
Yeah, I mean, he was that guy that was hitting in that 3-hole.
And he gets hit by a pitch. And Sasaki will reach here. 3-0 Stanford already.
And talking with Esker about Sasaki, kind of trying to move him maybe down in the lineup a little bit.
There you see Dave Esker, the head coach of Stanford. Happy birthday to Coach Esker. It is his birthday today.
Starting off good for him.
Yeah. I can tell you there's only one thing he would like for his birthday, and that's snapping an 11-game conference losing streak. Charlie Somm bats, cleanup hitter for most of the year, down in the 7th spot now for Stanford, takes high a ball, 1-0. Stanford on the attack here early. There's a strike. Bailey turns that one over. It's 1-1.
And that's the pitch for Bailey, too. It's going to be that breaking ball. A lot of whiff rate on the breaking ball. Doesn't matter if you're a righty or a lefty.
Another breaking ball misses high. It's 2-1.
Righties have a 53% whiff rate on that breaking ball. But he has to be able to get that fastball, and he has to work down in the zone. You cannot get that fastball up.
In the air to left, backing up a step or two now. Coming in is Listy. He will make the catch and the inning is over. But Stanford gets on the board early thanks to their second baseman, Jimmy Nati, and this absolute tank of a 3-run homer. They're dancing in the Cardinal dugout. It's 3-0 as we head to the bottom of the first. Jimmy Nati with a 3-run home run that went all the way out of Doug Kingsmore Stadium in the top of the first to give Stanford a 3-0 advantage. Double homer to start the game. And here is Clemson's lineup. They've been red hot. Colin Priest, a big day yesterday.
One thing that we do know about this Clemson lineup is that it really doesn't matter when they fall behind because they have enough to be able to come back. And we saw it in yesterday's ball game.
And on the mound for Stanford, it's Matt Scott, who spent most of this season as their Friday starter. A 6'7" junior from Connecticut. We'll talk plenty about Scott throughout this game because if Stanford is going to get back into the mix for a postseason spot, Matt Scott's going to be a big reason why they're able to do it.
Yeah, and the big thing for him, it's going to be, of course, that cutter. He has a very, very good cutter. Plays along with the good four-seam fastball to the top of the zone, 91 to 94. But he has a really good cutter. He throws about 87, 90 miles an hour. He can work it into lefties. He can work it away from righties. And that will play with the slider that he also has to go along with that changeup.
Dominic Listy will lead things off. The first pitch to the leadoff man is a strike. It's 0-1. Listy, an on-base percentage approaching .530 this season, and you can see on the screen he's been on base 5 times in this one. The pitch. That one fouled away. I believe it's actually 6 times. He was hit by a pitch, too, but he is an on-base machine. Listy started his career at North Central College in suburban Chicago. Spent 3 years there. Talked to his coaches, and they were like, yeah, maybe you should challenge yourself. Try and get a D1 spot. And he went to Indiana State, had a big year, and he was like, well, I've got a year of eligibility left. If I'm going to play, I want to do it in the ACC or the SEC. And he has found a home atop this Clemson lineup.
And the thing is, too, is that he is not afraid. He stands as close as I've ever seen any hitter standing to home plate. The feet are all over that white chalk line. And as a pitcher, I mean, he's all over it.
Outside, the count 2-2.
And he will draw a bunch of walks. It seems like every single game that we've had this series, he's been on like 4 times.
Yeah, he doesn't. The one thing he doesn't do is he doesn't really dangle his arm out all the way over the plate, but it's pretty close. He lines it up the alley in left center field. On the run and making the catch is Marsh. What a play by the left fielder for out number 1. Tatum Marsh making spectacular catches is becoming a staple of Stanford games. Wow.
How did he catch this ball? This ball gets hit by Listy. It looks like it's finding a gap in left center field. Oh my God, Marsh takes it off the ground right before he's hitting. That glove right on top of the grass, picking it up. What a play.
Almost felt like the wind knocked that one down a little bit. First pitch to Cam Canarella is a strike on the outside corner, 0-1.
Definitely did. That's why with the Nati home run, the way that he hit that ball, it makes it more impressive.
Marsh made a game-saving catch, at least for that moment, against Virginia in the final game of their series a couple weeks ago. Before Stanford lost in extra innings, he makes that catch. He is a dynamite defender. He is going to be a star for Stanford. I think he already is.
He is.
I mean, he's
an impressive freshman.
Impact player. Speaking of impact, Cam Canarella at the plate. The All-American center fielder ahead in the count 2-1. Canarella had a pair of doubles in game 1 of this series. 0 for yesterday, but was on base a couple of times. Potential first-round draft pick, and he hits it back through the middle of base hit. 1-out single for Canarella, and it'll bring up Jaron Purify.
One thing with Cam Canarella and what we've seen in this series so far is the exit velo off of his bat when he's making contact. exit velo has been shooting up and up and up. Of course, he had that labrum issue. He had surgery on it. He had to work on working out. Couldn't really work out as we wanted to during the off season, but he's starting to get that power back. That was 104 miles an hour off his bat.
That's the third ball he's put in play over 100 miles an hour in this series, and that's really started to come in the last 2 weeks. Jaron Purify fouls it away. The three-hole hitter. Let's take a look at some of the numbers with Canarella here. You see the hard hit percentage drop this season, but it is on the way up, and that is really exciting in the second half of this season, not just for Clemson, but for Canarella in what is, let's say, a muddled first round of the draft coming up in July. Like, if he starts hitting the ball hard consistently, Canarella's going to work his way into the first part of that first round.
Yeah, and I think it's because what he also can do defensively. Very good at center field, knows how to play that outfield position. But the bat-to-ball skill is definitely there.
He'll go to second on that wild pitch, and he's in scoring position for Purify.
But his biggest thing, of course, last year with 11 home runs, this year only with 1. So the focus has been, well, what's going on? Well, he's kind of finding it back again. He's finding that power back. The weight room he had to wait to be able to work out. And now he's finally able to really get into the weight room and gain that strength back.
A long hold by Scott and the 2-1 to Purify off the plate. It's 3-1. I don't know, just to finish up on Canarella, that he's ever going to be a huge power hitter. But as a gap-to-gap guy, doubles, extra base hits, not to mention he is going to be some team's favorite player. Like, as a teammate and as a guy plays, he's going to be a fan favorite because he plays all out all the time.
The thing with Canarella, though, to finish the thought,
Purify lines it into left field, a base hit. Canarella rounds third. He'll come home to score. It's an RBI single for Purify, and Clemson's on the board, trailing 3-1.
Is that I think that he will gain weight. I think that Canarella will gain weight. He'll gain more strength, and I think that the bat-to-ball skill will give him the ability to hit those home runs when he gets a little bit older. How about Purify, too? And you look at the top 3 guys in this Clemson lineup. Boy, they're so good. Consistently getting on base and consistently doing what we just saw now, where one team all of a sudden comes out and scores, and they're able to answer back.
And here is maybe the biggest raw power threat in the lineup. Colin Priest, the transfer from Michigan, and he has had a very good series. A homer, 2 doubles, 6 runs knocked in. 4 of those RBIs yesterday, including a massive 3-run home run in the first inning that I believe went 417 feet and 1 inch. First pitch to Priest, outside a ball, 1-0. Purify is a threat to run. He leads his team with 16 stolen bases. And this is a good matchup with him and Somm, who had a couple of guys that he gunned down on the base paths on Friday night. The catcher with a very quick release for Stanford. Purify bluffs going, and Priest smashes that. Oh, what a play by Becerra. Racing to the bag, gets there just in time for the out. Purify wants him to take a look. That was about the only chance Becerra had there to get a play.
It is going to be close. It is going to be close. And the reason is, it seems like to me, too, that Becerra kind of had to hold up just a little bit. Purify was flying, though.
Boy, this is a great camera angle. Man, is that close.
So that does that back of the heel hit second base? Because the foot's in the air, but that heel could hit the back of second base. Really, to be honest, I feel like they get there at the same exact time, so it's going to be whatever the call on the field was is what it's going to stay at. It's hard for me to tell what got there first.
I'm with you, Gabby, and I think part of it is that the way, because Purify is wearing a white shoe, we can't tell exactly where his foot is. Here's another look at it.
I feel like we're getting there at the same exact time. So it's whatever. It's not.
Yeah.
So some fans might think tie goes to the runner, and it does not. It's whatever it is that the call on the field is. It's what it's going to stand at.
Yeah, whoever said tie goes to the runner was a really ambitious first base coach. But if you watched on that previous angle we had, it looked like you could see, to your point, Becerra's toe hit there. We could see Purify's toes kind of push back at the same time.
I don't see it changing. I see this being what was said.
Call stands at second base. Ryan Miller, our second base umpire, with the call there. 2 outs, man at first. Clemson down 3-1. And that great play by Timo Becerra. That ball was roasted too.
That ball was hammered.
It was an excellent play by Becerra just to get a glove on it and then to get an out.
Tell you what, for the first inning, we've seen a lot of well-hit baseballs from both sides.
Again, we have not lacked for action in this series, that's for sure. Luke Gaffney hits. First pitch to the Purdue transfer, swing and a miss, 0-1.
And that's the cutter. A lot of action to that cutter. That's why when I talked about Scott, I said he needs that cutter to work. Ton of action to it. Almost looks like a slider, but it's not.
This is another guy who has power that hasn't been there consistently yet for this offense. He was the Big Ten Freshman of the Year a year ago at Purdue, and he takes low 1-1. And if you buy that there's an adjustment period with moving from a smaller conference to the ACC, you would think that maybe that second half of the season the adjustment gets a little easier. Maybe that's part of what you're seeing with maybe fewer home runs than you'd expect out of the middle of this Clemson lineup. Tap foul. That's 1-2.
And you also have to look at, too, just the pitchers that the ACC is throwing at you Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And not only that, guys who they bring out of the pen. There's a lot more guys throwing in that 95 to 97 range than there has been in years past.
I realize it sounds weird to call the Big Ten a smaller conference. Especially since they have 17 baseball teams. Gaffney down on strikes, and the inning is over. Becerra's defense helps Stanford get out of the inning with a 3-1 lead. Matt Scott with the strikeout. We head to the second. Stanford leads. Despite the loss last night, Stanford showed a lot more fight than on Friday. It was a much more Stanford-esque performance for Dave Esker's crew. As you can see what they did yesterday, and they had a lot of success with 2 outs. They're up 3-1 early today. We were talking a little bit to Esker, who starred at Stanford, was the starting shortstop on a Men's College World Series championship team, and has a long history with the program, Gabby. And he was talking about how this program was built on toughness, which I get from the outside sounds weird about an academic institution at Stanford, but the way he explained it, it totally made sense.
Yeah, it definitely made sense. It was basically, hey, you're not just this smart guy, because of course Stanford, you have to be smart to be able to get into there.
Nice
so you've got to show that toughness.
Gaffney behind the bag, taking that one base hit away from Larson, the leadoff man going to the second.
And I love that he basically told the team, especially after that Friday game, where you could just tell they were just deflated after they fell behind. And then you saw a different team in yesterday's ball game, falling behind, and it was like, it doesn't matter. They pushed. Yes, they ended up losing the game, but boy, they looked so much better, and they've continued that today.
Ethan Hott certainly has been since moving into the center field job after the injury to Charlie Bates. Since taking over as a starter in the Cal Series, he is 14 for 40. He fouls it back. It's 0-2.
He was huge in yesterday's game too. He had 2 huge 2-out hits that scored 4 runs total. He was 2 for 2 in those 2 spots with 2 outs, 4 RBIs.
In the air to right center. Crichton over, makes the catch. 2 up, 2 down in the Stanford second, and here's Trevor Haskins.
Tell you what, though, this is the kind of inning that B.J. Bailey needed, especially after that first. That was a long one. Haskins started off the game with the double. Becerra was right after him with the double, and then that huge home run by Nadai. He needed a quick inning.
He really had a surprisingly low pitch count for a 3-1 first because they were so aggressive, and Haskins aggressive there. The slick fielding Pino has it and throws him out. Yeah, that's a 1-2-3 inning for B.J. Bailey through 1.5. Stanford leads Clemson 3-1. That's country. Omaha, Nebraska. You see the top 10. The D1 baseball poll. Clemson 4th, Florida State 9th. Florida State had a really good performance from Jamie Arnold yesterday. It sounds like he was back after 3 starts that have just kind of gone okay. Yeah. And those are the 2 teams that I think at the top of the ACC that everybody is interested in this postseason.
Yeah, when you kind of look at Florida State, the 3-headed lefty monsters that you're having to face Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and Jamie Arnold's supposed to be the head guy, and had his little bit of a struggles, but if you're a Florida State fan, it was nice to see him come back.
You saw umpires running all over the field. We had a little bit of a delay because Steve Sanders, our first base umpire, had to get his foot taped. It appeared that he got stepped on by Luke Gaffney in the top of that inning, and Jacob Jarrell crushes one to left, and it'll one-hop against the fence. Jarrell racing for second, and he's in there with a double. The game-winning home run last night, and a leadoff 2-bagger to start the Clemson second.
I mean, as soon as that ball left the bat, I was thinking it was a home run because that's all he's been doing. It seems like every single time that he's been making contact, balls are just going a long way. This one up in the zone, a fastball stays on it, 105 miles an hour, and of course they do their celebration. Still need to figure out what that is that they're doing.
Jack Crichton bats. He gets the start in right field today. He's been part of the 4-headed monster, and he delivers a base hit to left center field. Jarrell, a late break. He's going to come home as the throw goes to second, and Clemson cuts the deficit to 1. It's 3-2 Stanford.
Hey, and that's what we talked about too. With this Clemson team and Stanford getting out early, it seems like it does not bother this Clemson ball club. They just go out there and they can just swing the bat. I thought that Jarrell was going to be getting held up. Nope, go ahead, push the envelope, get him in to score, and all of a sudden Clemson cuts the lead to 1.
I mean, this is one of the top on-base teams in the nation.
Yeah.
I mean, they draw a ton of walks, and yet we have seen them aggressive early in the count in this series. It's a really great approach. Lined into right field by Pino, a base hit. Crichton racing for third. He'll get there. First and third, nobody out.
It just doesn't matter who it is, 1 through 9. That's why in the open, it's a really impressive team. Because 1 through 9, they just put together really good at-bats. They can ambush like they're doing right now. They can wait out a pitcher. But it seems like to me they have a plan. And right now that plan is if I get a fastball in the middle part of the zone early on, I am ready to hit. I'm not just going to go up there and take.
Andrew Chufos had 4 hits, including a pair of doubles out of the 9-hole. Yesterday he scored the tying run as Clemson came back from a 10-8 deficit. In the 5th inning yesterday, the number 9 hitter, the Georgetown transfer, takes down and in 1-0. His offense has been a story in this series, but Chufo known mostly for his glove. He missed the last half of last season with an ACL injury, but a critical player for this Clemson team. In the air to right center. This should tie the game at least. Racing over and making the catch is Reynolds, cutting in front of the center fielder hot. Both runners tag. We are tied, and hustling to second base is Pino. More heads-up base running.
That's just great team ball. So that ball is hit in the air by Chufo, who does a great job of letting that ball travel, learning that I need to get that ball up in the air to that right center field area. But for me, it was what Pano did, kind of visualizing what was going on, seeing that that ball was going to get caught, and being able to come back and tag.
There was nearly a collision between Reynolds and Hott on that play. And Pano into scoring position with one out. First pitch to Listy is a strike, 0-1.
And this is what I'm talking about here. The way that he was able to do it. Right away he saw, oh, that ball's going to get caught. And you know what? I could get the extra 90. Let me go back and tag. And even though that ball is to right field, he's still able to make it.
Been very aggressive on the base paths early today. There's a strike. It's 0-2. They are running on the Stanford outfield arms right now. That was a little bit, I don't know that you can blame Reynolds' arm on that. I mean, that was,
no.
That was the near collision. He recognized what was happening on the play. 3-3 the score. Clemson has tied it with a pair and looking for more in the second. Outside. 1-2. They have really not given Matt Scott a chance to settle in at all in this second inning. Pano the lead. And Listy takes down and in. It's 2-2. Now, as aggressive as these hitters are, the guy who you don't have to worry about aggressiveness with is Dominic Listy. He is going to grind out every single at bat. Two. And the count's full. So it goes from 0-2 to 3-2 here. One of the most selective hitters in the country. A man in scoring position here, and Cam Canarella on deck. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Listy furious with himself as he's down on strikes for out number 2.
It's just a really good breaking ball. A lot of action to it. And actually, no, it's the split finger. So he does have the split finger, and he throws it hard. There was a lot of action to him for Listy. Kind of recognized it, but that's a tough pitch to lay off. That ball looked like a strike the whole entire way.
2 outs for Cam Canarella. He singled and scored in the first. He takes a strike. It's 0-1. Canarella has slowly seen the average on the climb. We've talked about the hard contact in this series. He got a chance to give Clemson the lead. Takes outside. It's 1-1.
And what you're starting to see a little bit more too now with Scott on the mound, a little bit more off-speed pitches, understanding that, you know what, this Clemson team is jumping early on my fastball early on in counts, not start kind of pitching backwards.
The 1-1. Canarella to left. Marsh is there, and the inning is over. Clemson scores a pair. They tie the game. We played 2. Stanford and Clemson tied at 3. And for Stanford has beaten Clemson twice in Omaha, but Clemson has exacted their revenge for the first 2 games of this.
Pretty neat, huh?
Pretty neat. I mean, you grow up in Omaha, you dream of playing at Johnny Rosenblatt Stadium, you want to be part of the College World Series, you're a freshman, and your only reaction on the press conference post-game is, that was pretty neat. That's why KP is one of the best analysts on the planet.
Oh, he's great.
B.J. Bailey back to work, and the 2-1 to Timo Becerra's outside. It's 3-1. Bailey has moved himself into this starter's role on Sundays for Clemson. He had been a dependable bullpen arm this year. He is a transfer from Spartanburg Methodist Junior College. Becerra skies it to center. And back onto the little hill in center field is Canarella for out number 1. But Bailey was a guy who, when Eric Bakich and his staff came to campus, they didn't really know anything about him. He was a junior college transfer. Previous coach Monty Lee had signed him, and Bailey worked his way into the trust tree. He missed all of last year with a leg injury. And I don't know that there's anything, as you look at his numbers there as a reliever, I don't know that there's anything in his profile that screams this guy's going to be a starter. But they had a hole in the rotation with some struggles on Sunday. Bailey helped to really settle down the game 3 weeks ago against Wake Forest on Sunday, and now this is his third start, and he's been very good so far.
Yeah, I mean, for Bailey, kind of first inning struggles, it was that fastball that was all of a sudden elevated up in the zone. And what we've seen after that in that second and now in the third is now that fastball is being held down a little bit more lower in the zone, has that curveball working. It's a really good 12-6er, just throws it there.
Diving stop by Pano to his feet. What a play, 2 outs. Robbing Jimmy Nadai of extra bases. More sparkling defense from Clemson's left side of the infield.
And you know what else helps? A little help from your friend. That's what helps out. This Clemson defense made some really nice plays behind him. Boy, Pano coming up big. Diving and then showing off the strong arm, the throw across the infield.
2 outs for Brady Reynolds. The cleanup man takes a strike, 0-1. Bailey's a surprisingly high number of fly balls against right-handed hitters. I think it's about a 40% ground ball rate. Lefties he chews up.
So here's the thing. The fastball, when it plays out of the strike zone up, it's going to play well because it's all of a sudden going to tunnel with that curveball. But when he is throwing that fastball middle to that upper part of the zone, it's going to get hit. But that pitch right there is tunneling off those 2 fastballs that he threw up. As a hitter, you kind of give up on it, and that's the curveball. Now that one's a strike.
The 1-2 on the ground to the right side. Pass, 2 diving infielders. 2-out single for Reynolds.
And that curveball, he actually wanted to get it down in the dirt. He didn't want to throw that one for a strike. That one just stayed up on him enough. And a really nice job by Reynolds to be able to stay through. That ball needs to be down. You can see Gerald in the back with that low zone. Gotta love, though, the Chufo and Purify both diving for that ball.
I believe that would be, that ground ball had eyes, I believe. Marsh lines it down the left field line. That's trouble, and it's going to fall in, and it's extra bases. Reynolds will stop at third on the double from Tatum Marsh. The freshman just keeps raking for Stanford, and they're threatening now with 2 outs in the third.
I'll tell you what, Marsh has been really, really impressive in this series. The freshman going out and just being aggressive. Look at first pitch hitting for both teams. They've both been ready to swing the bat.
I want to point out, too, that Marsh is the guy who leads this team in on-base percentage. I mean, it's like 480, so he knows the difference between a good pitch to hit and one that he wants to lay off. Ritaro Sasaki hits. The freshman fouls it away. 0-1. We mentioned earlier, Sasaki moved down to the 6th hole today. He made the final out with the tying and go-ahead runs on base yesterday. He is 6 for his last 49. The all-time prep home run leader in Japanese history. And he hits a little dribbler back to the mound. And Bailey will toss to first to retire Sasaki. And Stanford leaves a pair in scoring position. We'll talk to Dave Esker, the head coach at Stanford, coming up. We're tied at 3. 3-3 our score as we head to the bottom of the third inning. And a very happy birthday to the head coach of the Stanford Cardinal, Dave Esker. And Esker, that home run from Jimmy Nadai, we were just talking about it between innings. Oh my goodness, like all the way out of here. He's got some real juice.
Yeah, he's got some juice. And again, that wind's knocking balls down going to left field, and that ball got over everything. So that was pretty impressive.
Hey, Coach, I want to go a little bit with Matt Scott here. Kind of looks like in that last inning, kind of realized, you know what, they're jumping on that fastball, starting to pitch a little bit backwards. Is that something that you guys talked about?
Yeah, a little bit, you know, and just location, and they're aggressive. I think they had 3 at-bats first pitch in a row, and then got to mix it up a little bit, but we need him to go a couple more and get us a little bit deeper for sure.
Yeah. Dave, we appreciate the time. Best of luck today, and thank you, and happy birthday again.
Hey, thanks, guys. Appreciate
Happy
it.
birthday,
All right.
Head coach at Stanford joining us, a really fine gentleman in college baseball, and he is hoping for a much happier birthday day. The first 2 days of the series have been, that is for sure. First pitch to Jaron Purify, popped up into right, and there's Reynolds to make the catch. One pitch, one out here in the third. Let's talk a little bit about Matt Scott. Gabby, we had a long conversation with Thomas Eager, the pitching coach and recruiting coordinator for Stanford. Scott, after struggling against Virginia a couple of weeks ago, was moved from the Friday to the Sunday role, and they were going through a couple of bullpen sessions to make a little bit of a mechanical adjustment for him.
Yeah, one of the things that he did in the offseason, and he did it himself in talking about Scott, was that he tried to be quicker. He wanted to be quicker. He wanted to be more fast twitch and get that hand up, get that arm up, release point quicker. And they realized, like, you know what? Long term, that's not good for you. That's a big man on the mound, 6'7". Maybe let's get back to that more fluid, loose look. Maybe a little bit longer so that he's able to use his legs a little bit more. So they had those 2 practice sessions with him to basically throwing bullpens of, hey, let's get back to that long release.
Priest strips it foul.
And because of that long release, now he's able to use his legs a lot more.
You know, it has become trendy, and I mean, if I say trendy, then it makes it sound like it's something that people are copying for no good reason. There's a reason behind it, right? Yeah. For guys to shorten up their arm action to be able to repeat their mechanics better. Lucas Giolito famously did that. I think Trevor Bauer as well. It's where you take it right out of the glove and it comes to the ear and you're going home. And that's kind of what Scott was doing, but you can see him here. It is a much longer arm action in the back. Like, watch his right arm and how far it comes back behind. And there are advantages that, too, because in the end, right, it's just like hitting. It's about timing. It's how the arm syncs up with the delivery.
And it's just like hitting, too, right? Everybody's going to be different. Everybody's body is going to be different. Some guy who does, like maybe a Trevor Bauer, who gets up to, you know, that throwing position right to the ear, he's able to do it because his body allows him to do it. A guy like Scott might not, just because it's 6'7" coming at you. It's longer legs. It's a longer arm. And all of a sudden, you're not in the same frame of mind and being able to release the pitch where you want to and using your legs, and then all of a sudden you become just all arms. And the most power that pitchers have in those in that legs.
That was just foul. Larson could not get to it in time, and the count remains 3-2 to Priest.
As a pitcher, you just want to be consistent.
Right.
You want to be able to get those legs down and to basically be able to have that same wind up to where your arm is going, that foot is landing at the same exact point every single time.
And, you know, and I think you can probably be listening to this if you're a fan, being like, well, why did he change anything? He was a pretty good pitcher coming into this season, and the results haven't been great. And as you watch Priest here, the thing is that even if you're good, you want to get better, right? And I would bet you, I don't know, you'd probably have a better idea on a percentage, but there are a large number of players that struggle mechanically, whether it be offensively or on the mound, who are doing it because they're trying to be better than they were before. That's part of what motivates great athletes, is that they want to consistently be the best.
Yeah, you want to be the best, and then you're looking and your final goal is being what? A major league baseball player, pitcher, or a hitter, whatever it might be. And that's your goal, and you might be seeing what other guys are doing that got them to that point. And, oh, well, this guy did it like this, so I'm going to try to kind of mimic that, and hopefully that will get me to that point. But again, you have to kind of look at who you are as a player and what has gotten you to this point. And what got him to this point is what he's doing right now, getting back to a little bit longer.
I think it's a fascinating conversation about player development in general, because the same thing can happen with coaching, right? And it's, you know, there's something about a road and good intentions and all of that, right? The idea is that if you're trying to help somebody get better, and sometimes you have to know, wait a second, this doesn't work for me, right? And that's very difficult, I think, for a college. And I don't think that was the case here. But I think it's something that players are constantly having to fight with is, how do I make myself better versus how do I just refine the process that I have right now to improve?
And I think the thing, and we heard about actually with Matt Scott, was that he was up for it. Like, as a coach, you love a player coming in and be like, hey, you know what? Like, I feel like this is going to help me out, and I've been feeling better in my bullpens, and I've been feeling better in games, and you know what? It has been working. And they say, okay, perfect, that's great.
Perfectly located pitch to strike out Gaffney for out number 2.
But again, if all of a sudden now you're speeding everything up and now you're out of sync, well, you need to get back into sync. And that's what they worked on. And you can see where the motion is and how far out he gets. When you're trying to be too quick, all of a sudden that arm strength, that arm angle is going to be out there. Your legs haven't touched yet. And now you're pulling that pitch and you're not getting that strikeout like he was just able to get.
2 outs, man still at first in the bottom of the 3rd. We're tied at 3. Jacob Gerald doubled his first trip. 7 homers in his last 10 games for the Clemson catcher as he takes low. 1-0. He hit a home run off the batter's eye, actually off our scissor lift with our camera operators yesterday. That was the game winner in the 6th inning. And the count 2-0. This next pitch will be number 50 of the afternoon for Scott. And it's a big pitch to a dangerous hitter. 2-0. Fouled away. Here's a look at the weekend that Gerald has had.
Well, it's a good one. It's just power all over the place. That was Friday hitting the home run. This one, watch out, cameraman.
Look out, Dave.
Tell you what, though, they're ready today. They got gloves in hand. They said, just in case, we're going to bring out a glove.
Dave came by the booth before the game. There he is.
There's the glove. Ready for it. Go ahead, hit it up here again. This is not banana rules, right? Where if he makes the catch, he's out.
Yeah, I don't know that that's going to play real well if you're working at Clemson and you do that.
You better drop it.
Yeah, you might not want to show off your defensive skills if we're playing. I mean, listen, I know the bananas are a big deal here at Clemson, but I don't know that they want that rule to translate right now. 3-2 the count to Gerald. First, about the Savannah Bananas, and we'll talk more about that and their relationship with Eric Bakich and with Clemson coming up throughout the afternoon, because it is pretty cool. Priest will be on the move with 2 outs. Runner goes, swing and a miss, and the inning is over. Scott with 4 punch outs. We'll visit with Jack Leggett, the legendary Clemson coach, coming up. 3-3, Stanford and Clemson tied. See the number 7 retired here for Hall of Fame coach Jack Leggett. 32 years atop the program, and when Eric Bakich got hired as the head coach, he brought his mentor back, and Jack Leggett is with us for this half inning. Coach, it is great to have you here. We were just saying at the break, I don't think anyone is having more fun than you. First of all, I hope that I'm half as nimble as you are 20 years from now, because I'm pretty sure you could go out and play shortstop right now.
I always tell these guys I can, so it's all in the mind now. I believe I can do anything, and I've gotten a little older, but at the same time I feel really good, and being around a baseball field makes me feel young. I love being around the players and the coaches and this program, and I believe in it, and you know, it's just nice to see it back where it belongs, and I feel like you know, that I'm making an impact, and with the coaches and the players, and as long as I do that, then I'll stick around for a while.
Coach, I know that there's something fun that you do when they're playing here at home, and it's that 7 with 7. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, well, we spend some time down together down the right field line before our home games or the games that I'm here, and I give them some kind of story or motivation or a lesson on life or what they need to do. Maybe put my coaching hat on and tell them what I saw the game before, what they need to do today. Just reiterate some of the things that coaches have been talking about, but at the same time, I've got something every single day for them that makes some sense, I think, to make them a better player, a better person, and more successful.
Can you give us an example? I mean, whether it's today's message or a different one of something that you shared with them?
Yeah, I talked to them about, leadership, and I talked to them about, being tough, and I talked to them about all different types of things. I have stories one of them, you can be the fish of the sea, or you can be the shark of the ocean, and everybody comes in here and tries to be the shark to try to take our day away from them. But there's one thing on top of the food chain ahead of the big white shark, and that is the orca and the killer whale. Killer whale will take care of the shark, take his liver, and throw it on the beach. And that's kind of what we want to try to do when people come in here. But just little things like that. They have a good time with it. Got lots of things that I think are pertinent to their success and to their life. And sometimes we have some good times with it, some laughs with it. But at the same time, it's a meaningful time. I spend a lot of time thinking about it. Wake up in the middle of the night sometimes thinking about it, and come up with something new today. And if you look at the board, I don't know if you through TV can get the board right around the corner here. I write down these things all the time that we've talked about the day before, and I think they're all pertinent to what can help them be successful in their life.
Hey, Coach, how fun is it to see the way that this team has been playing all year long?
Well, I like it. I think the team plays with a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of energy, and it stems from the top. Eric is a very energetic person. The coaches do a great job preparing these kids for the games. We haven't played, I don't think, our best baseball yet, although Friday I think was the best game we played all year long. And that was a really good combination of pitching, defense, and clutch hitting, and we swung the bats really well on Friday, and so we had everything clicking. We've been winning. I think we've won 32 games now, and I would say sometimes we win by pitching, sometimes we win by hitting, sometimes we play defense and very well, and sometimes have a combination of two of those three things. And but I don't think we've clicked like I think we can yet. But I did see it on Friday, and to me that was Omaha-ish, is what I told the players. That's what you see. That's how you play when you get out to Omaha. And you get first-rate pitching like we did from Aiden Kanak the other night. We got first-rate defense, and we got some big hits. We swung the bats extremely well. So it was a really good combination of everything, and I'm hoping that we can see more of that more often.
Chick, I wanted to ask you about mentorship, and I've been thinking a lot about this weekend because Mark Marquez, who coached at Stanford for so long, 9 is now on staff at Santa Clara, and part of his job is mentoring coaches there. And obviously you and Eric Bakich have a long-standing relationship. He was an assistant for you here. But what is it that you appreciate about that? What's the message that you try to give to coaches as you mentor this next generation?
Well, first of all, it's not easy for a coach to, bring in an old coach that's been there before, and you can't have an ego, you can't be insecure, and those things are, Eric, I've been great friends for 20 plus years, and he had to convince me to do this because I didn't want to get in his way, I didn't want to be looking over his shoulder, I didn't want to, and so I've tried to get out of this a couple different times, and he just hangs up the phone on me. I'll say, I'll see you February 14th, take the day, whatever. So, we have such a good relationship. We laugh, we have fun with it. I think my job is to try to see things on the field that maybe nobody else sees. I've been around for a long time, and I feel like, my 45 years of being around the baseball field has some value to the players individually, and then as a team, and as a group, and also to the coaches. And they're very receptive when I say something that I think can help the program or help the coaches or help the team, and that makes you feel valued. And if I didn't feel that way, I wouldn't I wouldn't be here.
Haskins to deep left, and that one is gone.
That's not good.
No, over a leaping Listy, a 2-run homer for Trevor Haskins.
Yeah.
His second of this series, and it's 5-3 Stanford, his 11th of the year.
Yeah, they're three. They're third baseman, shortstop, and second baseman. All three of those guys in the infield swing the bat very well, and they got nice flat swings. They all look the same size, same type of swings, and those guys we've got to try to keep off the bases. We want to try to win today.
Jack, we really appreciate you joining us. Thank you so much. This has been a lot of fun. Enjoy the rest of today.
I appreciate you guys. Thanks for promoting college baseball. It's a wonderful sport. It's great to be out here. We'll come back and take care of this thing at the end.
Jack, thank you. Jack Leggett, the legendary Hall of Fame head coach here at Clemson. It's hard to believe that since 1958 they've only had 4 head coaches. And look at Trevor Haskins, who has had a monstrous last couple of days for Stanford. Homer and a double today. Homer double single yesterday for the leadoff hitter.
Boy, yesterday he had a 4-for-6 day. 2 for 3 already today with a huge 2-run homer there to get Stanford back on top.
It's given Stanford the lead. And Stanford coming in today has lost 11 straight ACC games. They started 5-1 in conference. Dave Esker's crew desperately needing a win on his birthday. 3-2. The pitch from Bailey. In the dirt, ball 4, and the inning continues. Let's take another look at the blast from Haskins.
The thing with Trevor Haskins, just so good. And again, just that elevated pitch. It's the one that's been hurting Bailey all day long. Once it gets elevated, not out of the strike zone, but still staying in the strike zone, this ball just well struck to left field, keeping it low away from that wind, getting it out of here. Now Stanford's looking at that 5-3 lead.
And Jimmy Nadai, who his first trip hit a 3-run home run out of Doug Kingsmore Stadium, takes ball 1. Nadai, his 9th of the year, banging the first inning. It gave Stanford a 3-0 lead. Off the end of the bat to second, Purify will tag the runner, and the inning is over. But Stanford reclaims the lead on the 2-run homer from Haskins through 3.5. They lead Clemson 5-3. Jesse Cole, if you're not familiar with the Savannah Bananas, really you need to be hipper. You need to be way hipper. But the Savannah Bananas, in addition to being a college summer league team in Savannah, Georgia, as Jack Crichton leads off with a single here, have a barnstorming team that is reminiscent of the barnstorming clubs from nearly 100 years ago. And they are going to play their version of baseball, banana ball. They're kind of like the Globetrotters of baseball at Memorial Stadium in 2 weekends. There you have 80,000 tickets sold, and yes, it is 190 feet down the left field line.
It's going to be a lot of homers.
Do you think you could reach that?
Right now, yes.
You don't want to stay out of the middle of the field, right? Like, you don't want to just pull it. So they will be doing it over there. Jesse Cole, who owns and runs the Savannah Bananas, and Eric Bakich have built this big relationship because Bakich started reading Jesse Cole's books and started taking some of the banana ball antics that they do with the way the infielders flip the ball to each other and all that into practices when he was at Michigan. Cole actually played baseball at Wofford, so he is very familiar with the Clemson program, and he and Bakich have built this relationship and this friendship. And we were talking a little bit about this last night. Our buddy Danny Graves from ACC Now was saying that Jesse Cole told him if Clemson, and when Clemson gets to Omaha, he will be there for them. And you'll be able to tell that he's there because he will be wearing a yellow tuxedo with a yellow top hat. You went to a banana ball game, right?
I did.
What
I got
did you
to
think?
go to one. It was a lot of fun. The kids loved it. I mean, there's just something going on every single second. My favorite, the umpires, actually. Right?
You have never said that in your life.
Never said that in my life, but I mean, the umpires are hilarious. They're dancing, they're having a good time, and it's just about bringing joy to the game. And I feel like people forget that. Sometimes it becomes almost, just about winning rather than about what it's meant to be, just having a good time and having fun playing a sport.
Well, that's the advantage that they have, right, is that they are creating entertainment. And I think that's part of what Backage has taken from them is how do you create entertainment in games that count, right? Because obviously the winning matters here, right? But little things like that, like having kids lead the calisthenics between innings, right? Even building the bullpen bars. This is going to be a double play ball. Nicely turned, 6-4-3. Jimmy Nadai fired up in the middle of the infield. 2 outs. But all these little things to try and make it a memory for families to come back. And I think it's laudable that you try to do that and to try and learn from the Savannah Bananas and what they've done, because they sold 80,000 tickets to a single game.
Quick, too.
That kid's going, I guarantee you. He's asking his mom for tickets right now. So can you get on
unfortunately,
secondary market?
Sold out.
They're doing games. They did them at Raymond James Stadium, where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers play. They're doing them in Charlotte coming up later this summer, and the demand was so great they had to add a second show in a football stadium.
They sell out everywhere they go.
I mean, so do I, but you don't hear me bragging about it. Oh. See, she's more into the mashed bananas.
Is that what that is?
Huh? You're just not...
Do I disagree with you?
A little young. Haskins to first, and Scott, after the leadoff single, gets out of the inning. Stanford with a 5-3 lead as we head to the 5th. So the storylines we've been following this weekend in the ACC, a much closer game today in Chapel Hill, but North Carolina sweeping Wake Forest. And they win 3-2 today. That's a big one. NC State closing in on a series victory over number 14 Louisville. Georgia Tech sweeps Cal. They are keeping pace with Clemson. They're only one back in the loss column of Clemson atop the conference. And Miami is 3 outs away from taking a home series from Duke. Up 8-6 today in the Sunday decider.
And Duke's been playing some really good baseball, too. The one that I looked at, too, was, what was it, Florida State versus Virginia Tech?
Yep.
Virginia Tech, boy, they've been playing some really good baseball. And for Florida State, kind of looked like they've been a little scuffled here and there, but a big sweep for them.
Swept a doubleheader yesterday to set that up, and Brady Reynolds hit by a pitch to start this 5th. And Georgia Tech head coach Danny Hall is retiring at the end of this season. More than 1,400 wins, an incredibly nice man. I think there are a lot of people that are rooting for the Yellow Jackets to get to Omaha one last time, a 4th appearance for Hall. It's been 19 years since he has led a team there, but they have very good pitching this year, which has been kind of their Achilles heel for a long while. Here, the story is this. Clemson looking for its 3rd conference sweep of the season, and Stanford with the lead trying to snap an 11-game ACC losing streak. That's one of the longest in the last 20 years.
And more importantly, get a win for their coach on his birthday.
Pitch outside. Count 1-0. Hey, you get Dave Esker not using the communication devices, giving them the old-fashioned way.
I love the old-fashioned way.
You would. Come on.
I do. I love the sign giving. I miss the catchers giving out the signs to the pitcher rather than just looking at, what it is.
You miss looking at the third base coach and going, did he wipe? Did he wipe that off? Did he touch his nose?
Yes.
And then panicking for 3 seconds?
Yes.
Oh, wait, you never had to bunt. That's right. You hit in the middle of the order.
That's also true.
What What was the sign for you, Gabby? Hit it over the fence.
It was the hands together. Just hit.
Let's go.
Just hit. See, there's the wipe. You just got the wipe. There we go. Now we're bunting. Here we go to the chest. We're taking it off. Go ahead, swing the bat. I don't see Marsh bunting at all.
That went back through the middle, a base hit for Marsh. Reynolds around second. He's going to head to third, and he will make it ahead of the throw, and Stanford has him at the corners with nobody out in the fifth.
That's just great base running by Reynolds. Again, another hit by Marsh right back up the middle. But boy, Reynolds did a good job right away realizing what was going on, seeing where the ball was, seeing where Cam Canarella was. I can make it over to third and get first to third with no outs.
Eric Bakic is making a long, slow walk out to the mound, and he is going to go to the left-hander here. Bailey's day is done in the fifth. The first two have reached against him, and Stanford has a 5-3 lead and a chance to take control of this game. We'll tell you about the new pitcher for Clemson, Hudson Lee, in just a moment. 5-3 Stanford. They are threatening for more at the top of the fifth. B.J. Bailey responsible for a couple of runners on here. The senior left-hander being ambushed for a couple of home runs. The first inning really is what got to him. Double homer to start the game. Settled in for a little while, but gave him a 2-run homer to Trevor Haskins in the fourth, and he's responsible for the 2 runners on base as the lefty transfer from Wake Forest, Hudson Lee, comes in. We saw him close out the run rule victory for Clemson on Friday night. See his numbers. Walks have been an issue for him, and he's going to face the slugging freshman Rintaro Sasaki.
He hasn't given up an earned run. He has given up a couple runs, none earned. It's a fastball, slider, changeup, 88 to 92 on that fastball. Really good slider. Will throw it a whole bunch. Throws the slider 36% of the time. Will throw the fastball 48% of the time. Changeup has been actually the pitch to get a lot of swing and misses with. Against lefties, is 100% swing rate, whiff rate on that changeup.
First pitch to Sasaki is hit down the right field line, hooking in the corner and going foul. Tar out in front a little bit on that one.
And for David Efsker, kind of talking with him about Rintaro Sasaki and kind of moving him down in the lineup just to kind of get him to maybe relax a little bit more. Top of the lineup, maybe a little bit too much stress on him, especially when you're going bad. You're trying to chase the base hit.
Sasaki clubs that one to right, racing over Crichton. He can't get there. It's a base hit. It'll score a run. Marsh went back to tag. Now he's racing to third. Here's Purify's throw. It's offline. An RBI single for Rintaro, and it's 6-3 Stanford.
Oh boy, if you're Stanford, if you're Rintaro Sasaki, that right there is a deep breath, sigh of relief. You were able to finally get something, to touch some grass, get your base hit, stays down and through this baseball. Crichton trying to get to it, looked like he may have had it. Ball gets away from him. Marsh did go back to tag and was still able to get over to third because that ball got knocked away from Crichton in right field.
So runners still at the corners for Stanford as they've tacked on a run. And Somm takes down an in, 1-0. Charlie Somm 0 for 2. Clemson playing at double play depth. They will concede the run for 2 if Somm hits it on the ground, and the count 1-1 to the senior. Somm out of Thousand Oaks, California. rips it foul. It's 1-2. His high school coach was Jack Wilson. Or Gold Glove infielder. His son Jacob is off to a tremendous start.
Very good start
this
with
year.
the A's.
Yeah, former first rounder out of Grand Canyon.
It's a good guy to learn from.
Yeah. Jack Wilson is one of the most underrated defensive players of the last 25 years. He was a wizard at shortstop. He was amazing.
There's only one wizard at short.
Floated into center field. It's a base hit. Coming home to score is Marsh. An RBI single for Somm, and it's 7-3 Stanford.
Now, this is what we saw yesterday out of Stanford. Yeah, they may have lost 11 games straight in ACC play, but they're a team that can swing the bat. They could get hits. They could get runs. Somm with a nice just base hit. Center field gets another RBI. And right now, Stanford has something going here.
First pitch to Brandon Larson outside a ball, 1-0. Larson getting the start at first base today, appeared as a pinch hitter yesterday. Transferred to Stanford a year ago from UC San Diego. Taps it foul. Court McDonald out of the lineup today. He had missed a bunch of time early this season with a hamstring issue and is still working his way back. McDonald looked like he was having some issues with his timing. The 1-1. Swing and a miss. It's 1-2. Just missed. To the count, 2-2 now to Larson. Called strike 3 on the inside corner. That's 1 out. And we'll bring up Ethan Hott.
Well, and for Lee, this is the pitch that he needs. It's that fastball down in the zone, right at the knees on the inside corner. Really beautiful executed pitch.
First pitch to Hott is a strike. It's 0-1.
Oh boy, if Lee can stay down there and just work those corners. He's getting that pitch called a strike.
Hott has been strangely quiet today. In fact, I would say he's been cool today. Squares to bunt, bunts it foul at the plate. No.
That was great. I have nothing. He was hot yesterday.
He was.
Scorching.
Well, he's from Arizona, you know. I don't know if you means that when Ethan gets going, it's a dry heat, but the 0-2 tapped it foul at the plate.
When I get going, it's more humid and sweaty from Miami.
It's true. Yeah. Got to stay hydrated where I am. Got to stay hydrated at Arizona. Two-time All-State performer from Paradise Valley takes strike 3.
Right now, as a pitcher, you have to try to exploit that bottom part of the zone. You're getting it called a strike. It seems like Lee realizes that one. Just continues to pump the fastball down in the zone.
Here is what Stanford has done the last 2 days. That's 17 runs over the last 2 games with 2 outs. There's a strike. It's 0-1. Trevor Haskins hit the go-ahead 2-run home run in the 4th. A shot off the railing right above Chris Benson's retired number. He's behind in the count, 0-2. Giving suppose, that we'll explain in the next half inning.
It might be gone.
Haskins takes outside. It's 1-2.
Wanted it.
Yeah, he did.
That was a really good backdoor slider. Been getting that pitch down in the zone. Boy, that's a good pitch.
Just missed. The 1-2. Haskins rips it to third. Diving backhanded stop by Pano. There'll be no play. Infield single for Haskins. Back-to-back 3-hit games now for the Stanford third baseman. And the bases are loaded for Timo Becerra.
Tell you this, though. Pano just saved a run. That ball was ticketed down that third base line. Pano, he has been playing a really good third base. Is able to keep that ball in the infield.
Bases loaded for Timo Becerra. He doubled and scored in the first. He knocked in a run. First pitch to the senior shortstop misses down and in. It's 1-0. Hudson Lee trying to compose himself on the mound, fire himself up. The lefty's 1-0. Check swing foul. It's 1-1. Lee set. The pitch. Popped up foul. That one will get out of play. And the count 1-2 now to Becerra. This is a pretty big hitter in this game for both sides. If Becerra can deliver a 2-out hit, it will give Stanford some much-needed breathing room. If Clemson can get out of this inning, if Lee can retire him, put a little wind under their sails. The pitch. Liner over a leaping Pano down the left field line, a base hit. 2 runs are going to come home to score. A huge hit for Timo Becerra. It's 9-3 Stanford in the 5th.
Another 2-out hit in the series. This Stanford team, it is a fun team to watch, especially with this offense. What they've been doing the last 2 games. This time it's a slider. It's left a little bit up, and Becerra does a really good job staying through that baseball, driving it to left. 2 base hit RBI, and Stanford opens it up a little bit more.
And Jimmy Nadai, who hit a ball out of Doug Kingsmore Stadium in the first, is to the plate. And he takes in the dirt. It's 1-0. Nadai. Looks like he's having a good time as we're going to get a conference on the mound. We were talking earlier about Stanford and their toughness, right? And kind of asking Dave Esker a little bit about that.
Yep.
And one of the names that he singled out was Jimmy Nadai.
Yeah, he said, because you asked, you said, hey, who's the guy that can bring that toughness out? And without missing a beat, he said Jimmy Nadai.
Well, he was a rugby player, so I think that probably has something to do with it. I don't know that you can play rugby without being fairly tough.
No. I'm trying to think of, like, no, not even the goalie. Is it a goalie? Is that? Because I don't know what they're called, but I'm thinking it's a goalie.
I think you can play rugby once and not be tough, but I don't think you can be a rugby player and not be tough. If it's the first and last time that you've played rugby, then there's undoubtedly either that or good health decisions. 1-0 the count to Nadai. Bounced it foul. It's 1-1. Moore from Stanford with 2 outs today. Look at that.
Those are
13
daggers.
for 27. I mean,
those are just daggers. You think you're 1 pitch away, 1 pitch out of it. Stanford just does not stop.
Gibby, the difference feels like today they got the shutdown inning after they got the lead. Matt Scott got through that 4th inning without allowing a run. And that double play ball that he got off the bat of Pano might come back to be a big moment in this one. Nadai takes outside. 3-1 now. And a dangerous pitch to a dangerous hitter here.
You got to be careful here. You can't just groove a fastball. That eye shows that he has a ton of power.
Nanai over the leaping Chufo into left field, a base hit. Another run coming around to score. As Haskins dives across the plate, it's 10-3 Stanford.
And again, another just 2-out RBI. And a 3-1 count. It's going to be a slider, but it's a slider that's a little elevated over the heart of the plate. And for me, I'm feeling like Jimmy Nadai kind of realized it was probably going to be something that was off speed and stays on that pitch and drives it to left center field.
Eric Bakich is going to make the long, slow trudge to the mound here. Stanford with 5 runs home in this inning. They've already sent 9 men to the plate, and Bakich is ready for a pitching change. It's 10-3 Stanford in the top of the 5th. For Clemson is Chance Fitzgerald, the sophomore from Sanford, Florida.
Really, for right now, basically for Fitzgerald, it's just get out of this inning. Finally get that 3rd out. Stanford's just been relentless. It's a fastball, a cutter, slider, and a changeup. Big thing, though, is just throw strike 1.
He misses on his first pitch to Brady Reynolds, 1-0. Reynolds was hit by a pitch to start this inning. He is the 10th to come to the plate for Stanford in the frame. And a strike. Count 1-1. In the dirt, and now 2-1 to Reynolds.
Man, lefties this season against Fitzgerald hitting .476.
This inning's gone on so long that Matt Scott is tossing in the pen to try and stay loose. There's a strike. It's 2-2. Yesterday, the Cardinal went with an opener, and they ended up using 3 relievers before getting to Christian Lim. Lim only gave them 2 innings. It just was feeling a little bit off. Reynolds goes down on strikes. And now Scott getting a chance to come back and pitch with a 7-run lead. Halfway through this one, it's all Stanford so far. About 9 or 10 years old, and he started playing him in center field. And his mom asked why Cam was playing center field. And said, well, just when he gets to the next level, he's going to end up being a center fielder. All these guys are shortstops. That's where he's going to end up playing. So when Cam started getting recruited, he started getting recruited as a center fielder. And she said to him, well, how did you know? And he goes, I know baseball. Of course I know. I mean, they have a tremendous relationship. He said, I'm glad you called me. He's like, because I haven't texted him this week, so I'm going to reach out to Cam. And Orlando Hudson's one of the just really great personalities in baseball. I know you played against O-Dog. Like, he's something else. You hear him before you see him coming because he is loud in the best way possible. He loves Cam Canarella.
It's really funny, too, because you look at especially young kids, and they take outfield as like a bad thing. Mm-hmm. And it's like, no, it's not a bad thing. Somebody has to play there. But a lot of times, you're right. It's the shortstops. It's the really good athletes that end up playing center field, and it's a tough position. It's one that is very valuable because a center fielder can win and lose you ball games, and they've got to go a long way to go get some baseballs.
The other thing he said is he told Cam's ma, said, you're going to retire early because of him. Cam Canarella due up second in this inning. Dominic Listy has run the count full. And the pitch from Matt Scott, cut on and missed. He strikes out Listy for a second time today. Matt Scott has started to get things dialed in today.
And it's with this pitch, it's the split finger. He has been throwing it really, really hard. It's been a really good pitch for him. Second time that he gets Listy with it. A lot of break to it. Listy, who really doesn't chase all that much, has chased 2 down in the zone on a 3-2 count.
5 punches for Scott. Here's Canarella. He is 1 for 2. Canarella skies one deep down the right field line in the corner. It is foul. Had home run distance. A little quick on it. You see the numbers on Canarella, just 1 home run on the season. Again, this is a guy who is likely going to go in the first round of July's draft. He hammers that one to right center field, up the alley, and that one will one-hop against the fence. Right in front of the sign for All-Americans, the preseason All-American doubles with 1 out here in the Clemson 5th.
That's another double and another exit velo of 107 for Cam Canarella. We've been talking about it. It's starting to come and it's starting to get there. Gets the fastball out over the plate, stays on it, stays through it. Backside delivering. Boy, he's a special player.
Second multi-hit effort of the weekend, 3rd double of the weekend, his 11th of the season. And here's Jaron Purify. Purify an RBI base hit. There's a strike 0-1. You also saw him in that piece about the mentorship that Curtis Granderson has given him. Purify from Detroit. Here's the 0-1 on its way. And he hits it through the left side past the diving Becerra. Canarella around 3rd. Here comes a throw to the plate. It is not in time. An RBI single for Purify, and he goes a second on the throw. It's 10-4.
Man, this Clemson team is not going to go away quietly. For Cam Canarella, just running straight through home. No sliding. Maybe thought that there was not going to be a play at the plate.
Did you see Priest just kind of pointing to the backside
to
of
the
home
backside
plate? He didn't
instead
really
of
tell
down.
him to slide,
Yeah.
right?
Priest, in that situation, if you're that guy that's on deck, you're going to be the one that's basically telling that runner from second what to do. And you've got to be able to tell him, hey, get down, get down, get down. Once you see that ball start making its way towards home.
There is action in the bullpen for Stanford as Thomas Eager makes a visit. It's Ty Uber who pitched yesterday. Stanford's bullpen really struggled. Their relievers did yesterday. They could use a lift from Uber.
Yeah. They definitely can use a lift. They had their struggles with the bullpen. And kind of when we talked to Eager, we asked him, hey, is everybody available? And he basically said, yeah, every single person's available, because really when you looked at it, it's like 1 inning or a couple guys that they had to face. So everybody is available to be able to pitch for him today. Unlike for Clemson, that they have a bunch of their guys, their head guys, that aren't able to pitch today.
They got way more production out of their bullpen early in the season, and they felt like that bridge to the end of games with Aiden Keenan was one of their strengths. But it has struggled over the last couple of weeks. It's coincided with this losing streak for Stanford. Really, more than anything, they can use Matt Scott to collect a few more outs here. Again, going through the heart of the lineup for the 3rd time is always a challenge, and this is one of the guys with the biggest power, maybe the biggest power in the Clemson lineup today, in Colin Priest. First pitch to the left-handed hitting DH is a strike, 0-1.
Yeah, for me, this is the toughest inning for a starting pitcher to get through, because it's the inning that basically says whether or not you can get the win. And a lot of times you'll see guys kind of struggle in that 5th inning, and if they're able to make it past, all of a sudden they can sail through 6 and 7.
A strike. It's 0-2. Scott will step off here. His first disengagement, wanting a new set of signs from the dugout. Has what he wants. Purify from second. The 0-2. in the dirt. Trying to get him to chase. It's 1-2. But just based on what we saw yesterday, be very careful with off speed with Priest in the zone.
Especially down, as he's hammered those pitches.
The 1-2. Popped it up, foul and out of play. Elevated a fastball a little bit there.
It's kind of what you want to do, too. You don't want to just live in one zone, down, down, down the whole entire time. Got to be able to change eye level.
And do you think he goes up higher than that, or he goes back to the splitter?
If it was me calling pitches, I would go up a little bit higher. Since I saw him chase, I would go up the ladder a little bit more. I think he's going to come back down with maybe that slider down in the zone.
The 1-2. That went down in the zone and rolled through the middle of base hit. Purify will race home. It's an RBI single for Priest. And Clemson has cut the deficit to 10-5.
I think Priest was thinking the same way that I was thinking. Not doubling up on that fastball up, looking for something down in the zone, gets it, just drives it right back up the box. It was that splitter, didn't really get down the way he wanted it to. Ball stayed up enough for Priest. Not really a hard swing, just enough, strong enough to get it past that infield.
Yeah, he really does not have a lot of movement with 2 strikes, does he? He just tries to get the bat on the ball, and he's at first for Gaffney. 0 for 2 today. Gaffney takes a ball low, 1-0. Stanford with the lead in the 5th, trying to snap this 11-game ACC losing streak. The 1-0 inside, 2-0. Dave Esker hoping to celebrate his birthday, make a much happier bus ride back to Charlotte before they fly home tomorrow if he can get a win. 2-0. Bounce towards the middle. That could be 2. Nana to Becerra to first. Not in time. Very close at first. Ball wasn't hit all that hard and kind of took an elevator hop on Nadai.
Yeah, not really much Nadai can do on that ball. Just like you said, really chopped down. Tried to get it out quickly. But boy, that was very close at first base too. Yeah, that just last ball just going up.
Priest trying to duck out of the way. It was going right into the fielder there. Yeah, bang, bang play at first.
Bang, bang play. I was wondering if they could have called an interference on the base runner, but they did not.
Gerald takes low, 1-0. Jacob Gerald has been red hot for Clemson. Homers in the first 2 games of this series. He smoked a topspin double to left to start the second. The 1-0. A strike. It's 1-1. Time called. The ball gets loose from the Stanford bullpen. That's my new favorite thing here. Is wait. Everybody starts to freak out as soon as the ball comes loose. It's all good. There you see the new bullpen, where Ty Uber is making some friends with Clemson fans. I'm sure that they're having a lovely conversation. Outside, 2-1. Thomas Eager, their pitching coach, giving them a little bit of advice to be like, just be cool with them. Like, start having fun with them. Be positive. It'll be okay.
I tell you what, too, it's nerve-wracking as a pitcher coming into a ball game where the last thing that you want to do is overthrow your catcher and have that ball bounce around and everybody's just looking right at you.
2-1 the count. Popped up. Shallow right. Nanai, the second baseman, calling for a tracking with the wind. We had a long way to go to get to it, but it made the play, and the inning is over. Clemson scores a pair. We head to the 6th, 10-5 Stanford. this three-game series. Clemson looking for the sweep. Stanford looking to end this 11-game losing streak. Gabby Sanchez, Mike Farron looking to be very full thanks to the folks at the Cajun Cafe in right field who brought us their smoked bologna sandwiches for lunch today.
Never had it. And
you will never leave home without one now, will you?
It's fantastic.
They're the folks
need
there.
to make this for the kids.
Thank you to Kimberly and everyone in the Cajun Cafe for providing meals for us the last 2 days. Some of the best French fries that you've ever had. Smoked chicken. Last night they had a bog, which if you've never had a bog before, go find a recipe for it. It's like rice and chicken and sausage. All those people are jealous that we got to eat at the Cajun Cafe. Folks, it should be a bucket list item for you. If you want to come to a game at Doug's Kingsmore, you need to find a friend who can help to get you into the Cajun Cafe because, man, have we eaten well here.
It's been so good.
I mean, it's just like we've had incredible food this entire trip, but the best has been in the ballpark with the Cajun Cafe. So I was told it was great, and it was undersold. Smoking Pig in Pendleton was pretty great, too.
It was.
I would recommend that place.
But this has been fantastic.
Tatum Marsh, the leadoff man for Stanford, bounces a two-hopper to third, and Josh Pino throws him out. Leadoff man gone in the Stanford sixth. That'll bring up Rintaro Sasaki.
For Rintaro Sasaki, see if maybe that last hit just kind of took just the pressure off. When I was going bad and things weren't going my way, sometimes just one hit just got you to relax just a little bit.
You know what I liked about it, Gabby, was that he hit a deep foul ball right before it. He just took a much more aggressive swing than we've seen from him. Kind of turned it loose a little bit, and while he didn't get all of it, at least it was something where you felt like he was attacking the pitch. He's behind 0-2. He fights that one off into center. Canarella coming in, 2 outs. Rintaro Sasaki hit more home runs in Japan than any other high schooler. Coming up Tuesday, baseball's next big thing. Rintaro Sasaki will debut on ESPN.com. He's decided to come to the U.S. to play college baseball. As he said, this life belongs to me, so I don't want others to decide it for me. He came to Stanford to get to Omaha. Stanford wasn't even sure that they were going to get Sasaki. Did you hear the story? This was incredible. He got into the recruiting process, and they got in kind of late. They hadn't had a scholarship available, and they had a couple meetings, and they set up a Zoom with him after he'd come to visit the campus, and they just thought he was checking in and was going to let him know when his decision was coming. They said, I'm coming. And everybody kind of, it sounded a little bit like when, the story of when Shohei Ohtani signed with the Angels and Billy Epler, the then general manager, literally fell back out of his chair. That kind of sounds like the reaction from the Stanford coaches. It was like, he's coming. This is great. We got him. He actually was in school last year, could have played down the stretch, but wanted to get better acclimated in the U.S. So he's got about, they do quarters there at Stanford, right? So he's got, I can't count how many quarters he has, but he's got more than a year of college under his belt. Down on strikes is Somm. It's a 1-2-3 inning as Jarrell records the putout, and we head to the bottom of the sixth with Stanford leading Clemson 10-5. Stanford trying to get the finale here on a Sunday. They lead by 5 in the bottom of the sixth. And Matt Scott is still out there after 5 innings of work. 54 of those 84 pitches for strikes. Right-hander who has struggled at times this season, moved out of the Friday role, has had some very good moments today, and he'll work through the bottom of the Clemson lineup. Every out that he can give Stanford is big. They would love to be able to get him as close to, let's say, the 7th inning as possible, because Aiden Keenan threw an inning last night, but he is their key reliever. He looked really good yesterday, too.
He definitely did. But that's the thing. They really needed for Scott to have this type of outing
Crichton swings at the first pitch, and Nadai throws him out. The leadoff man gone in the Clemson sixth. Now, I'll tell you one thing that he's done really well here so far has been keeping Pano and Chufo off base. Those two guys have been a Pano for Stanford in this series. They've done this is when their lineup is going really well, right? And you see this with most lineups. The bottom of the lineup is creating traffic. They have just one hit between them in 4 plate appearances. And he starts Pano with a strike.
Well, what I've liked from what Scott has been doing today, too, is kind of realizing what Clemson is trying to do against him. And he has been able to kind of flip that, especially after the first inning, or the first couple innings, understanding, okay, this is how they're kind of attacking me. Let me change it up. Let me go breaking balls first. Let me put guys away with the fastball later. Let me rely on that split finger or that slider or that cutter.
Outside of ball, it's 1-2. The slider and that splitter have both been good at times. They haven't necessarily been consistent, but big improvements, it feels like. Yeah. And boy, there is, regardless of how this ends for Scott, there's a lot to build on based on his performance today. Called strike 3. Strikeout number 6 for the right-hander, 2 outs.
And there's that pitch that we've been talking. It's been the slider, it's been the breaking ball, it's been the split. This time, that slider, top of the zone.
Boy, if he goes quickly here,
he can go back out again.
Yeah, he might get the top of the order for a 4th time in a 5-run game.
We saw it kind of with Bochco, too, even in that first game where Clemson was able to 10-run rule Stanford. We thought Bochco was going to be out in the 4th, and he ends up coming back in the 5th and ends up coming back in the 6th.
Again, like every out that he can get him gets him closer to being able to use Aiden Keenan, who threw an inning last night, but to keep it a 1-run deficit, but is their relief ace. That one down low, it's 2-0. And I think if you can, over the course of 6 or 7 innings, hold this Clemson lineup to 5 runs on a Sunday, you have to be pretty happy. The 2-0. Swing and miss. That was disgusting.
So really good. When he's executing it, when he is on top of that pitch, it's got so much action to it.
I mean, it's one of those pitches that even sitting where we are, there's a slow roller to the left side. It looks like a fastball almost the whole way. Chufo out at first on a bang-bang play. This is going to get challenged. This is kind of a big call here because it would have to be a decision, you would think, with the top of the lineup coming up the 4th time for Clemson, and with Scott's pitch count climbing.
And the only thing you look at, though, is it's a 10-5 ball game at
this
point.
But also, do you really want to give Clemson any air here? What you got, Gabby?
I haven't saved
pretty
that
safe,
ball.
Yeah,
that's going to get overturned.
I might even be able to see that he's safe. It's a good effort.
I mean, it looks safe live. And when usually it looks safe live, it's going to be safe. It should be pretty quick.
All the Stanford players have moved back to their positions, so they're pretty confident. This is going to get overturned. It'll be an infield single.
And nothing Becerra could do on this play. He had to come in. Chufo got jammed on it.
And the call was safe. He was able to just touch that orange portion of the safety bag, which is the runners have to touch, and down Listy will hit. Now he is 0 for 3 today. Scott has fanned him a couple of times. So Scott will get Listy here. 10-5, Stanford leading bottom of the 6th. First pitch. Misses low, 1-0. This is where the risk comes, Gabby, is because it was 8 pitches to those first 3 hitters.
Right.
Like, you might run 8 up here to Listy.
Well, the other thing is, too, I think that is why he's still in the game, because it is Listy, not a really your power threat guy. But I feel like if it gets to Canarella, I don't think that you're going to see Scott pitching to Canarella.
2-0. It'd be a lot different if he was coming out for the 7th inning, right? And Canarella was the leadoff hitter.
Right.
Uber continues to throw. He's a right-hander. The only lefty they used out of their pen, well, other than Christian Lim, who was supposed to be their bulk guy, was Garwal, who's unavailable today. 2-1 the count. Appears that Uber is ready if they call on him. There's a strike. 2-2. That's the thing about Uber. You can always count on him on demand.
We'll have to wait the 15 minutes.
I mean, you could schedule him if you want, but 2-2. Inside, and the count runs full to Listy. Next pitch will be number 98 on the afternoon for Matt Scott. Runner will be on the move from first. Time is called. Listy takes the timeout because a ball was loose, and I think he's trying to ensure that he doesn't have one of the offensive timeouts used, and that's the case. Answer, our third base umpire noticed that it was loose, so gave him the equipment timeout as opposed to one of the 3 offensive timeouts each team is allowed. 3-2. Fouled away. Let's see again. This is the threat with Listy, as he's going to run it deep at bat. 8 pitches to the first 3 hitters. This will be the 7th that Listy has faced.
Yeah, but I think that this was going to be it anyways for Scott. I don't see him pitching anyways to Canarella. I could see this just being his last batter. For Stanford, hoping that he could get out of the inning here.
3-2 again. Down low, ball 4. An infield single and a walk. It's just the 2nd walk issued by Scott today. Thomas Ear is going to head out to the mound and get his right-hander. He's made the signal to the bullpen. He's called for the Uber. Clemson is threatening with 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th. Stanford trying to get the finale on the road. A nice performance from the right-hander Scott. It's not Uber, it's Trevor Moore who's entering the game for Stanford. Excuse me, it's Ryan Speciak who is coming into the game, who started yesterday. Big moment here. 10-5 Stanford. Solid job from the Sunday starter, Matt Scott, for Stanford today.
He was really good, and Stanford needed this type of outing out of Matt Scott, especially after yesterday's ball game, having to use so many different pitchers. To be able to make it through 5, going 5 2/3, it's what Stanford really wanted. It's what David Esker needed.
Lee's responsible for 2 runners and frustrated clearly that he couldn't get through the 6th inning.
I love it, though. I love that passion. Wanting to stay out there, being upset, not being content.
Ryan Speciak was the opener yesterday. Stanford trying something a little different because they had been struggling, and so they went to Speciak. The idea was he would give them 2 innings ahead of Christian Lim. Before Lim came into the game, they had used 3 relievers. He gave up 3 runs in a 1/3 of an inning.
Yeah, the thing I think for Speciak was they just not really comfortable probably being in that situation to be an opener. Started off the game by walking Listy, walking Canarella, and then Priest got him for that 3-run homer. It's good fastball, slider, changeup mix. 91 to 93. He was actually 94, 95 in yesterday's ball game.
He has to face Cam Canarella here, and now he's dealing with a pitch communication issue. We've seen this plaguing a couple of pitchers before their first pitch. All right, whatever it is now corrected. Cam Canarella has a pair of hits today, including a double, and he takes a strike. It's 0-1. Both base hits hit very hard. That's been something that Canarella had not seen a lot of in the first half of the season. And the wind is kind of shifted, blowing out towards right center field, too. The All-American outfielder waits. Takes low. It's 1-1. I'll tell you what, Gabby, we had heard about how little chase there had been from Cam Canarella so far this year. He looks locked in on every pitch right now. See that breeze? Here's the 1-1. Called strike, and it's 1-2.
Boy, for Special, that's a really good pitch. 2 in a row, or sorry, 2 in this at bat. Those fastballs just down and away, right at the knees, right on that outside corner.
1-2 the count. The 2-out pitch. Swing and a miss. Got Canarella to chase 96. And the inning is over. Clemson leaves a pair as Speciak gets it done.
Oh, gets that fastball right on that outside corner down at the knees. And then here's 96 at Cam Canarella. Throws it by him. Getting Stanford out of the jam.
Texas Tech and ASU excited to be there at Muni to see the resurgent ASU Sun Devils, Willie Bloomquist Club. If you want to step outside the ACC, as Brandon Larson takes a strike. So what you can do is you can watch an ACC game, a big one, Florida State hosting Virginia, and then you can start scouting for the postseason by seeing a Big 12 matchup with ASU and Texas Tech.
Gotcha.
It's all about Friday night scouting reports, baby. Friday nights for scouting reports, right?
It's very true.
Conference is over. The 0-1 to Larson, tapped up along first. And a nice play by Fitzgerald. Glovin and tag out Larson for out number 1. Fitzgerald's done a nice job. Ethan Hott is 0 for 3 today. He takes ball 1 outside. It's 1-0. Stanford is expecting to get freshman center fielder Charlie Bates back at the end of April. Bates, the super talented freshman who suffered a torn thumb ligament in the Cal Series, had surgery. As Hott bounces that one towards the middle, and Schufo will throw him out. 2 outs. Schufo is so slick.
It's so slick.
It's really fun.
He just makes this play just look so fun. Gets down there, a little on the run throw over to first base, no problem.
Do you think he picked up those moves from watching Troy Tulowitzki or watching his head coach Eric Bakich take infield?
Listen, we were watching Eric Bakich today taking ground balls all over the place. He still got it. He was diving in the outfield for balls. He was getting balls, throwing on the run too. He can still play.
An impressive amount of energy, an impressive amount of dedication, and for someone who's been a head coach as long as he has, an impressive amount of hair that's still remaining.
The energy is is ridiculous. Watching him just run around as if he's still 18 years old.
Every job is a custom fit, and this one fits him very, very well.
It really does. I think he's learned a little bit from the guy sitting next to him, too, Jack Leggett.
Oh, you think Jack Leggett might know a thing or two about coaching?
Because he does the same exact thing.
Outside, 2-2. Like a legendary coach here at Clemson. They've only had 4 coaches since 1958. That's incredible. Bill Wilhelm, Leggett, Monty Lee, and then Bakich. Rolled through the right side. Trevor Haskins, 4th hit of the game. The leadoff man for Stanford has had himself quite a last couple of games. 3 hits last night, 4 today. He's homered in each of the last 2. He had the go-ahead 2-run homer in this one. And he's basically done all of his damage with 2 outs.
Back-to-back 4-hit games for him. Have yourself a nice little 2-game set.
He had that single with 2 outs in the 9th inning yesterday. So I was wrong. Thank you. Tebow Becerra takes a ball 1-0. Becerra, a big 2-run single as part of the 5-run Stanford 5th. That's allowed them to take control of this game. Becerra to center. Cantarella's got a beat on it. He puts it away, and the inning is over. Time to stretch at Doug Kingsmore Stadium. Stanford leads Clemson 10-5. Here are your up-to-the-minute standings in the ACC. 10 teams at 500 or better. Look at that logjam. Duke, Wake, Virginia Tech, and Virginia, all 9-9 in conference.
You got to think, too, with Georgia Tech, they're 14-4, so they have 1 extra series on Clemson.
And remember that the ACC plays their 10-weekend series over the course of 11 weeks. So there are some teams that have taken that bye week or non-conference week already, and there are others that haven't. Georgia Tech is one that has not to this point. Stanford trying to get back into the mix and win a 6th conference game, snap this 11-game skid that they've been on. Speciak's first pitch to Jaron Purify misses high, 1-0. Clemson has already clinched this series, their 6th straight ACC series win to open the season. Stanford desperately needs a win. 1-1. That said 93. That felt like 98.
He's gotten already 1 up. He threw one to Cantarella last inning at 96 miles an hour. He just slings it. It's almost like it's a weird like low 3/4 just slinging in.
Well, that's a new thing, right? When they talk about with vertical approach angle, right? It's the lower arm slot with a high riding fastball, and this one's riding pretty good. I mean, that's one of the changes we've seen in pitching is that guys who throw from lower slots pitching at the top of the zone. I don't think that would have happened all that often even when you were playing.
No, it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't even a thought. When I was playing, it was you want to hit the knees, you want to go from side to side, east to west on the knees. You want to hit your quadrants inside of your strike zone.
Foul back.
All of a sudden, all these pitchers now, it's almost that low 1/4, 3/4, and then kind of raise that pitch up. Every once in a while, you would have those pitchers that would come in when you're hitting, and you would walk back to the dugout, and you'll tell your hitting coach, I swear that ball is right going up. I feel like he's throwing a rise ball, coach, and he says, it's impossible. There's no such thing.
Here's the 2-2. Upstairs, and the count is full. He really is trying to get Purify to chase that high fastball. I mean, that's all of this information that we have now where we can measure extension length and release angle for the pitcher and how the pitch spins, how efficiently it spins. That's all the data that's going into these college pitchers now to try and help them get better. And despite all of that, Speciak walks Purify to start the 7th.
It's going to bring up Colin Priest in yesterday's ball game. Colin Priest got him for a 3-run homer.
Torrin O'Haron, who pitched yesterday. On the left, Aiden Keenan, the relief ace for Stanford on the right, and you wonder if they might be going to Keenan here. Thomas Eager.
I wonder if he was going to just basically go out there and be like, hey, remember yesterday's ball game? You threw him an off-speed pitch down in the zone, and he hit it out to the top of the building in right center field. Let's just stay with that fastball.
Kind of looked like that's what he was doing. He was saying, like, hey, listen, like, just let it eat.
Yeah.
You could see him do the international symbol for high fastball. He's going to go for the bullpen anyway. He signaled for the pen, so he is going to get him. And a new pitcher is coming into the game for Stanford here. It's O'Haron, who pitched yesterday, who will take over with the leadoff man on in the bottom of the 7th for Clemson. Stanford leading 10-5. Clemson has had 4 comeback wins, final 3 frames of games. Left-hander with power will face Torrin O'Haron, who threw an inning yesterday and gave up 5 runs as the second man out of the chute in the Stanford bullpen.
And for O'Haron, he did face Priest in yesterday's ball game. Priest did hit a double against him. It's a good fastball. 91 to 94 miles an hour, has a slider, changeup to go along with it. Looking at where the game is right now, looking at what Clemson can do, what Clemson has done this season, and really what Clemson did in yesterday's ball game. You know that they have the type of offense that can come back in a hurry. And O'Haron needs to do his job right here and see if he can have this as a shutdown inning.
Clemson's fans starting to get into it for the first time in a while. Stanford offense had silenced them, but the leadoff walk to Purify has set the table for the heart of the Clemson order. Stanford trying to get out of Dodge with a win, and they need 9 outs. O'Haron to face Priest. First pitch, Purify bluffs going, and Priest was clipped by that and hit him on the knee. And now there's 2 on with nobody out here in the 7th.
That must have just barely got anything. Just barely the top part of that quad. He just skinned the quad.
Wasn't any argument from anybody.
You're going to get hit by a pitch.
That's the way to do it.
That's the way you want it.
Here's Gaffney, who's 0 for 3. O'Haron needs a double play. Clemson needs base runners. And time called. Aiden Keenan had been up earlier in the Stanford pen. And there is a right-hander continuing to get loose.
I mean, they had Keenan up. Is that?
Saw was leading that conversation. That is Aiden Keenan. Long conversation here. You wonder if this is just stalling at this point. Keenan had been up for a while, but this is just a long conversation with Song and O'Haron. Still going on, and finally it breaks up.
I really don't think that was that conversation of, hey, Gaffney might bunt here, because I don't see that happening being down by 5.
May have been just a refocusing. Remember, O'Haron yesterday kind of called the infield together at one point when he was on the mound. So you wonder if this was a little bit of, hey, listen, we got to get you in the strike zone. First pitch to Gaffney. Checks and takes low, 1-0. Appeal, but Steve Sanders says no. continues the set. And the 1-0. Fouled away. Things starting to get a little tense on that third base side right now.
This is a very important game for only one reason. It's to just stop that losing streak. And for David Esker, that's why things will get a little bit tense, because you know what Clemson can do with the bat.
Tapper to third. Haskins will glove it in foul ground. And they count 1-2.
Smart play. Smart play by Haskins. He put himself in the position to where if it was fair, he was going to be able to make the throw. That was going to be a tough play. You definitely can't get down that line.
Haskins a 4-hit day today. One and two the count. Called strike three. A huge first out for O'Haron in the seventh.
Oh, big slider. After some fastballs in, throws that slider right on that outside corner for strike three. Gets Gaffney looking. You got to be careful with the guy who's at the plate right now. Jacob Gerald, he has been hitting the ball out of the ballpark with ease.
Gerald 7 homers in his last 10 games as he takes outside 1-0. He won up the fence in left with a double in the first.
4 homers in his last 3.
Excuse me, it was in the second. He led that inning off with a double, and he takes outside. It's 2-0. Living behind in the count is dangerous against these Clemson hitters. Check swing roller to the right side. That's going to be a tough play. Nadai's throw in time to get him. Somehow Jimmy Nadai got to it quick enough to throw out Gerald for the second out. Oh.
Wow. I thought that was an excuse me base hit written all over it. Nadai comes out of nowhere. Bare hand throw on the run to get Gerald out at first. What a play. Big out.
2 big outs by O'Haron, and now Aiden Keenan is going to enter this game. O'Haron, who was barking at Nadai yesterday, just gave him a little let's go and kind of roughed him up a little bit, and the second baseman seemed to love it. What a play to get a huge second out, and Keenan will enter the game for Stanford. It's in the hands of their relief ace now, leading 10-5 with 2 outs in the 7th. Aiden Keenan looked really good yesterday.
He really did. It's one of those situations, too, where you're kind of looking at where the game is at and how many innings is Aiden Keenan going to be able to go. He did go that 1 inning yesterday. Had a strikeout. He did walk a guy. Got 2 pop-ups.
Let's take a look again at that play that Nadai just made to record the second out, Gabby.
Well, I mean, it's an excuse me, like, oops, oh, made contact. And that little stumble, because of where he hit that ball, where his body was moving, it goes back to third. That little 1 extra step was the reason why he was out.
Nothing Gerald could really do about it. It's just the way his body reacted. He took off as soon as he could. What a play by Nadai.
What a play. Oh, be careful now.
Yeah, I mean, those helmets are white. They're going to scratch really easily. This is the problem. There's a lot of white at Clemson. I don't think I can wear a lot of those
Yeah.
white helmets without getting barbecue
For me,
sauce.
I didn't worry about the scratching. I worried about the concussion that he could have given himself, smacking himself in the helmet in the face.
Fair. Aiden Keenan, the relief ace. So you asked the question, how long can Keenan go? It looks like 2 1/3 is what they're going to ask for. No, seriously.
Yeah, they are going to ask for that.
I mean, this feels like, unless they somehow extend this lead, that he's going to be responsible for finishing this game. So it seemed like they needed to try and, in their mind, buy a couple of outs here in the 7th inning so that he wouldn't have to go 3 full.
I'm going to agree with you 100%. And I think I don't even know if it matters if all of a sudden Stanford is able to come back and score more runs. I think that Dave Esker wants this win, needs this win against a top 5 team in the country.
Jack Crichton will be the first man to face Keenan. A pair of hits today. First pitch, a big slow breaking ball strike. It's 0-1.
I mean, he has that slow breaking ball, the slider, the curveball, the fastball that he throws between 92 to 95 miles an hour.
Way outside, it gets away from Somm. Great read by Purify as he comes home to score. It's 10-6. As soon as that ball got away from Somm, Purify was off and running.
No hesitation at all. The lead that Purify had at third base, he was halfway down that line. And as soon as he saw that ball hit the ground, he was off and running.
Crichton fouls it away. It's 1-2. Purify with that great read, a terrific base runner. Now Keenan has to focus in on Crichton to get out of this inning. Rolled back to the mound. Keenan retires Crichton and the inning is over. Clemson gets a run. They leave a man at third. We played 7, 10-6 Stanford. Hannah's 3-run homer got Stanford up and running. They have not trailed in this great game, but they have had their lead cut to 4 as we start the 8th. And the first pitch from the right-hander Fitzgerald's a strike. He's done a really nice job since coming in.
He has done a very nice job since coming in. Hasn't given up a run. Had an easy inning in the 6th. Only gave up a base hit in the 7th. Able to get out of that one. Starts off 0-2 right away to Nadai.
There was some uncertainty as to who might be available in the Clemson pen today. And Fitzgerald's done an excellent job of settling the game down, at least giving them a chance. As Nadai grounds out to start the 8th.
And for Stanford, you have to start kind of looking at the scoreboard a little bit, just because you know that Clemson, they have 6 outs to work with. And it's a 4-run lead that you have against Clemson if you're Stanford.
Yeah, it does feel like you might want to tack 1 or 2 on, right?
Yeah, just kind of seeing what you can do to kind of move, 1 or 2 more across the board.
Well, here's somebody who can get them 1 in a hurry, Brady Reynolds. Been on base twice today. Skies that to left. Listy racing in. The left fielder makes the catch. 2 outs. And Chance Fitzgerald has been outstanding today when they have needed him. The 3 main relievers for Clemson, Drew Titsworth, Reed Garris, and Lucas Malstad all pitched yesterday. Titsworth had a shorter outing. We were expecting him if they had to use him Saturday to go very short, because he threw, what, 4 1/3 innings in the midweek against Gardner-Webb? So he's not available today. Those other two guys covered the last 5 1/3 and did an outstanding job, shutout innings. So they've needed someone, and if they need another arm to join that group, another reliever in the trust tree, Chance Fitzgerald, the way he's pitched today, certainly looks like he's a candidate for it.
Absolutely. He's been throwing the ball extremely well.
Another ground ball to short, and it is because of Gaffney getting the tag down, a 1-2-3 inning for Fitzgerald to the bottom of the 8th. Stanford leading Clemson 10-6. Get the finale and end this 11-game ACC losing streak. They have their relief ace on the mound, Aiden Keenan, to get these, what they hope are last 6 outs. And Gabby, this feels like it's reaching key moment of the game territory, because when Clemson's offense is going good, their 8 and 9 hitters, Pato and Chufo, are creating traffic. And if that happens, and you do not want the top of the order for Clemson to hit with men on base. So this is huge for Keenan.
I mean, really big. And it's just because, just like you said, the bottom guys in this lineup, when Clemson is scoring a bunch of runs, they're getting on for that top of the lineup. If you're Keenan, this is a huge inning for you.
Paino is single in the 2nd. And he chops it to 3rd. Going to be a tough play for Haskins. Can't make it. It's an infield single.
No, it's not.
Oh, no, it's a foul ball. You're right. No, he called it fair.
He touched it?
The home plate umpire called it a fair ball.
I didn't think he touched that ball.
Ryan Clark was on it. It's a base hit.
So they're saying that he touched this ball?
There's no argument from anyone.
I need to see this one again.
Gabby, I think you're right. I don't think it touched it.
I thought he whiffed at it, and that ball went in front of 3rd base.
Well, you're right. And the first pitch is a strike.
Huh. Well, I don't think it's a ball anyways that you're able to
No, you can't review.
it.
Can't review it. You could have asked the umpires to get together and say, hey, did he touch it? 0-2. I mean, that's the home plate umpire's call, right? Because it's before the bag. So I angled it. It looked like maybe the tip of the glove.
Maybe the tip of the glove just barely touched it. Could be.
It's tough to say. Outside, it's 1-2. It appears, as of right now, to be a very difficult break for Stanford to start this 8th inning. But there was no argument from the Stanford dugout whatsoever on it. Swing and a miss. And a big first out as Chufo down on strikes. Turns the lineup over for Dominic Listy.
I think the big thing, too, for Keenan, it's no free passes, right? That's what really hurts you, especially coming into a ball game. It hurts starters as well. But trying to close out a game, walks will really hurt a team.
A strike to Listy, 0-1. Listy is a walk in 4 trips today. The on-base machine at the top of the Clemson lineup. Takes outside, it's 1-1. This is probably the hitter that Keenan is going to have to work the hardest against. Listy knows that his club needs base runners. Keenan knows that too, and he will want to attack the zone. He missed with a breaking ball. It's 2-1. I mean, Listy's not going to offer it anything that isn't right down the middle.
Too with Listy, again, we talk about how he crowds the plate and where pitchers just feel uncomfortable to try to come in on him.
Missed with a breaking ball. It's 3-1.
you got to give in, though, here if you're Keenan. You got to throw 2 fastballs and just say, here it is, and go ahead and hit me.
It's not a prodigious power hitter. The 3-1. There's a strike. Boy, that was a perfectly located fastball, and the count's full.
You got to do the same exact thing here. You're not messing around. You're not trying to throw a breaking ball. You're not trying to throw a chain, nothing. You're going right after him with that fastball.
The 3-2 bounced foul past first. Misty appeared to be checking on the location with our home plate umpire, Ryan Clark. And the 3-2 misses low, and there's 2 on with 1 out for Cam Cantarella.
That looked like a really good pitch on 3-2. It's a fastball down in the zone. And maybe just about an inch down off the plate low.
Cam Cantarella will bat 2 for 4. A single and a double for the All-American center fielder, and he serves it up the alley, left center field, hot on the run, makes a diving catch for out number 2. Ethan Hott with a huge catch for the second out.
Oh boy, when they need Cantarella hits this ball towards the end of the bat. Hott comes in running, diving head first, and is able to make the play. But not only that, as soon as he catches that ball, how quick he gets up and throws it in.
Man, Hott looked cool with that play. 2 outs for Purify. Starts with a strike. A huge play from Ethan Hott. Swing and a miss. Purify chasing a breaking ball, and now Keenan 1 pitch away from getting out of the inning. Clemson down 4. They're threatening in the 8th. They have just 1 hit with 2 outs in this game. They are in desperate need of a second. Keenan needs a punch out. The pitch way outside. It's 1-2.
There's times where I really want a pitcher to kind of set up that hitter for the next pitch. And for me, that slider off the plate that far, kind of a wasted pitch.
Do you think Cam Cantarella is in shock because he's so used to doing that to other guys that he's not used to having it happen to him? The 1-2. Back through the middle, behind the back glove by Becerra. Throw to first, into the and Stanford's defense helps him post a 0 in the 8th. One more look at this exceptional play from Ethan Hott. Stanford's leather, keeping him up 4 as we head to the 9th. Stanford, their defense. This is Tatum Marsh on March 29th against Virginia. That saved the game for the moment. A great play there. And then this is Ethan Hott. A big catch with Cam Cantarella up and 2 on. As Stanford will take a forward lead. Here's how the inning ended.
I mean, this was an unbelievable play. Purify can run down that line. Becerra going a long way to make this play. Throwing on the run to get a speedy Purify. I thought that ball was ticketed for the outfield and a base hit and another RBI for him.
We were talking about it at the break. It's off the bat. It's like, man, that's a single. Then Becerra got it. It's like, man, is he going to be able to get Purify? But not just the glove, but the arm strength and the accuracy from Becerra. What an impressive play. Rintaro Sasaki leads off, and he hammers one deep and foul.
You know what I've seen, too, the way that Clemson has been pitching Sasaki, a lot of pitches in on the hands, trying to get at that up and in. He hasn't really been able to get that bat head to that pitch. They do not want him to get extension.
Well, he's at his best when he's going to the left center field gap. Listy, the left fielder, is positioned over that way. Saki down on strikes. That's the first out of the Stanford ninth. Chance Fitzgerald continues to do outstanding work.
Just
out of his Clemson pen.
Another good pitch. Another slider down in the zone. But utilizing that fastball, he's able to move that fastball around. He's able to go in and out with it. It's keeping it down in the ground. I mean, just done a really nice job for Clemson.
First pitch misses to Charlie Saub, 1-0. Saub to center. Cantarella's got a beat on it. So smooth, 2 outs.
Look at what Fitzgerald has done. He's gone 4 innings. He's only allowed 1 hit. That's it.
Well, Clemson needed innings today. He's done a good job there. And here's Brandon Larson. Eric Bakich looking ahead, undoubtedly, to what he has coming in the ninth. We can tell you that it's Colin Priest, Luke Gaffney, and Jacob Jarrell who are the scheduled hitters for Clemson. They'll be chasing 4. Fitzgerald, another strike. He's just been in command of counts. Like, he's done an excellent job.
And being able to utilize every single one of his pitches.
Larson hammers it deep down the right field line in the corner, off the foul pole and gone.
Yeah!
Brandon Larson gets Stanford that insurance run they've been looking for. A homer off the foul pole, his 3rd of the year. It's 11-6. I don't know how that stayed fair. I thought it was hooking, but he hit it so hard.
I mean, this is a ball that's absolutely blasted off the bat of Larson. This one just stays over the heart of the plate. Left the bat at 110 miles an hour.
That's probably how it stayed fair, is that he absolutely smashed it.
Well, they needed that insurance run just to give them a little bit of a breathing room.
I mean, Dusty Baker used to talk about taking teams out of slam range, right? Getting it out of that lead where just one swing can make a difference. And right now, I have to think that there are some big sighs of relief in that Stanford dugout, and they're licking their chops to end this 11-game losing streak.
Well, I do, but I also think that they know what type of offense Clemson does have. And they saw that yesterday in yesterday's game, where Clemson just continued to answer back and come back and eventually won the game.
2-2 the count to Hott, who made that great diving catch in the 8th. Hott fouls it away. It's going to be really interesting when Charlie Bates comes back at the end of the month. They're going to have to keep playing Ethan Hott the way he's played. I mean, he's got to factor into their outfield mix. And this is a guy who's gone from part-timer to one of their best offensive pieces.
They're going to call catcher's interference.
A month. Catcher's interference, you're right. There were a couple of noises there. I wasn't quite sure what it was, but Gerald gets charged with catcher's interference.
Yeah, Hott, I mean, just trying to foul this off, but yeah, you can see it just hits right off of Gerald's glove. Gerald just reaches out a little bit too much for it. And Stanford's happy. Go to first. That's great.
Nobody's ever been more excited about a catcher's interference than Chase Kick just was.
Well, I think the biggest thing, too, is it brings up the guy who's hitting right now, and Trevor Haskins, who's absolutely been in fuego these last 2 games. I asked you, off air, hey, is 8 for 11, is that good?
Seems good. 4 hits today outside. I should say that was Cohen Gomez was the pitcher that was looking there. Oh, the last cycle for Stanford was Haskins against Texas Tech last year.
Guess what? Yesterday he was a triple side of the cycle too.
He's just basically picking up where he left off. 1-2. That was the only triple of his career, though, against Texas Tech. Does he have another one in him?
It's hard. It's going to be hard to get a triple here. You got too many guys who are fast in that outfield. Get the ball in quick.
Runner goes. The pitch is a ball, and the throw sails into center field. Hott will end up at third on the throwing error from Sherrill. And now Haskins isn't thinking about a triple. He's thinking about a base hit here to add one more insurance run. And Eric Bakich is going to head out to the mound here. Is this a settle everybody down moment? I mean, it's a 2-2 count with 2 outs. I suppose he could go to the bullpen, but...
Well, he is.
He is. Fitzgerald at 55 pitches. And so Eric Bakich is going to make a pitching change with 2 outs at the top of the 9th inning. His team trailing 11-6. And a 2-2 count. And the new pitcher...
That just must be a pitch count situation where probably went past where they wanted it to be and said, you know what, don't want to push this, especially the way that Fitzgerald's been throwing.
He's just a sophomore, right? So you don't, and I would get that, right? You totally understand trying to protect your players. Yeah. Jacob McGovern will be coming in. So if Clemson comes into today 11-3 in ACC play, a loss would put them even in the loss column with Georgia Tech. Again, they have 3 fewer conference games played after today that Georgia Tech does. But it would also put them even with Florida State, who just went to Blacksburg and swept a series. So the top of the conference, Clemson has been playing very well. They have not lost a weekend. I don't think this would affect them in the polls at all, but it does make things a little more clumped at the top, where 3 teams have really separated themselves from everybody else in the ACC.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you look at it, if all of a sudden they do drop this game, that would move up Georgia Tech to that #1 spot. And then they would be tied for that #2 spot with Florida State. It would be very interesting here. It's always fun getting towards this end of the ACC season.
But just a reminder, too, like, we still have a long way to go in ACC play. I mean, after today, Clemson will be halfway through its ACC schedule. So, Georgia Tech is, 6 of the 10 weekends played now. But there's still a ways to go, not just in the regular season, but in the conference season.
And we've seen some craziness in this conference.
Yes, we have seen some goofiness. From time to time, we do get that. I mean, listen, it is a really competitive conference. And I think you see those teams in the middle, those are good teams. It's not an easy schedule.
No, and that's going to be the fun one right there against Florida State.
Yeah. At Florida State.
And Louisville's been playing some good baseball. NC State is such a scrappy team.
Well, they just took 2 out of 3 from Louisville this weekend.
Yeah, and for me, NC State seems like they were taking 2 from 3 out of everybody.
And if you're looking at a team that, with the left-handed hitters that are so important in the Clemson lineup, that will give you some fits. It's, we were talking to Dave Esker about that before the game. He's like, Duke can really give you problems if you run left-handed hitters out there because they have so many left-handed arms. And listen, like, Pitt's pitching isn't great, but that is a lineup that can score some runs. I mean, they did it to Virginia yesterday in the doubleheader. They split that doubleheader. Yeah, they have a really good lineup. Luke Cantwell is basically Dominic Listy for the northern part of the conference. Jacob McGovern comes in with a 2-2 count. The sophomore flips a breaking ball, strike 3. Haskins is down on strikes, and the inning comes to an end. Stanford trying to snap an 11-game ACC losing streak. They lead by 5 as we head to the bottom of the 9th. We head to the bottom of the 9th. Stanford leading Clemson 11-6. Trying to end this, what has been for them a miserable 11-game ACC losing streak. And trying to get a nice little birthday present for their head coach, Dave Esker. Do you put candles on a win like this?
Yeah, you absolutely do. This is going to be a celebration. I mean, they're going to Charlotte.
Yeah?
I guarantee you there's a bunch of good places to eat in Charlotte.
There will be a much happier bus ride for them to Charlotte. I mean, Charlotte's, just over 2 hours from here. But that's where they're staying tonight before they fly back to the Bay Area tomorrow. And a relatively early morning flight. First pitch to Colin Priest is a ball, 1-0. Heart of the order due for Clemson here in the bottom of the ninth. Priest has been on base 3 times today. 1-1. Aiden Keenan, with the help of his defense, getting out of a jam in the 8th. And the relief ace trying to shut this one down. Good breaking ball, 1-2. Yeah, that's 79 miles an hour, but it feels a lot slower than that. It's just,
Keenan's fun to watch on the mound. The way that he adds and subtracts with the fastball, the breaking ball, the slider. Got a lot of good pitches. Throws every single one of them for a strike.
swing and a miss, and he gets the leadoff man Priest to start the ninth.
Just a bunch of movement from Aiden Keenan. 89 miles an hour, just a little sinker. Down in the zone, but just a ton of movement.
Tristan McClatty is going to pinch hit here for Luke Gaffney. Sophomore who's been part of the group that's played right field this season. Ryan Clark wanting Keenan to make sure that he makes eye contact with McClatty before delivering the pitch. Foul back, 0-1. McClatty's got a little bit of pop. This is his first plate appearance of this series. I mean, this guy has been a key bat for Clemson going back to last year. They're just trying to kind of figure out right field for the second half of the conference season. It's behind 0-2.
Excellent start between McClatty and Crichton and Wentworth played the first 2 games.
They've also used Tristan Becerra some in right field, who has big power. Upstairs, it's 1-2. Keenan vigorously shaking off the last side. Now step off. That was not a subtle shake.
We got time violation. That's a ball.
Timer violation for when he stepped off. So it's 1-2. That must have been why he was shaking his, 2-2 without the count. That must have been why he was shaking his head so quickly as he. Pitch. Claddy fouls it away. The 2-2. Called strike 3. McClatty down on strikes. And Clemson down to its final chance today. And their last chance is Jacob Jarrell. Jarrell, a pair of homers in this series. See Dave Esker hoping his team can get the win. Upstairs, 1-0. It's funny how we were talking about how well Clemson has been playing. Like looking at the ACC standings, that they would be tied in the loss column at the top. It's really, it doesn't change the fact that this team has been playing outstanding baseball, right?
There's just other teams that are playing really good baseball too in the ACC. I think all in all, if you're Clemson, even if you lose this ball game, winning 2 out of 3, you've won every single series on the year. You're playing really good baseball, even when you look at it today. Still scoring 6 runs on the offensive side.
Yeah, Stanford's hitters have shown up, especially the last 2 days. They have had good offensive days as Gerald draws a walk. And the inning continues, and they're not going to give away at-bats as this Clemson team.
Yeah, it's fun, too, because when we talked to Backage even told us, when we were asking him about, like, who's going to pitch and who's going to come in, he told us this Stanford team, they could hit. They're a really good hitting ball club.
Jack Crichton has had a pair of hits today. Clemson down 5 in the bottom of the 9th. Crichton takes a strike. It's 0-1. Keenan being asked to get the last 7 outs today. And it looks like he may have done it. A fly ball to right. Reynolds there, and Stanford ends their 11-game ACC losing streak. They get the win today here at Clemson. They beat them 11-6 in the finale. Well, that'll do it for us. Thank you for joining us all weekend for this series at Clemson. Coming up next on ACC Network, it's Notre Dame and Virginia Tech softball from Blacksburg. For Gabby Sanchez, our entire ACC Network college baseball team, I'm Mike Farron. Stanford gets the finale from Clemson 11-6.
Welcome to those of you who just watched Clemson and Stanford play baseball. Here we go, softball. Virginia Tech already up on Notre Dame 1.